Alright. How's it going, everyone? What is up? Ah, such pretty music. How are we all doing? What's going on, guys? I'll actually start playing in another minute or so. Just want to give people time to get settled in and all that. Hello, hello. 7 minutes ago? What was 7 minutes ago, Sarah? It looks pretty good, at least from what I can tell so far. From the intro. Not that that's necessarily a whole lot to go on. The previous stream? Did the video actually go up? No, it probably did. No, I actually started up the stream here. No, it still shows up as processing on my end. It's so strange. Usually, like, short videos don't take long at all to process, but of course, the one time I'm waiting for it, it actually does. Alright, looks pretty good. Oh, this is Link to the Past. Indeed it is. It's actually a little bit different though if you're familiar with the intro. There's some things that have changed. I think they changed some things about the writing with the translation a little bit, and they did recolor some of the characters, like Aghanim. He's dressed in red now, I guess, look more intimidating. Actually, I think it's to match like the art they had for the game itself and the concept art. It's hard? I wouldn't say that at all. This is actually not too hard at all. Especially compared to playing freaking, what was it? Link's Adventure? Phone call at the last second. Hold on, guys. Let me check to see who this is. Alright, the answer was it was nobody. It was nobody at all. Well, that was a nice waste of time. What's going on? Oh yeah, the thing starts up again. Well, you guys need to memorize the story. It's a really good one. It's actually the first Zelda game to really feature a story in the game itself. Yeah, this little intro sequence that tells you everything you need to know about the game. So it's very nice, very fancy. I'll probably talk about more once I start playing the game itself, but like I said, it's one of my favorites. The video finished processing. Now I can finally check this out. Don't mind if the volume plays. So does it show a chat replay? Yeah, it does actually, okay. Well, we'll just have like 2 chats. It'll be redundant, but whatever. Bye, just keen to say hi. Alright, thanks Sarah, thanks for saying hi. It's kind of you to stop by and say hello and all that. Alright, let me close this then, since I don't need it. How do I become a mod? Well, there's several requirements you have to meet. One, you have to be someone who's been like around for like a considerable amount of time. And I have to kind of like somewhat trust you. Like know who you are actually first. And also, you have to be like, I don't know how old you are, but you have to be like 18 or something. I think. Then again, some of the mods we have may not be 18, but that's just general rule I've started enforcing kind of recently. I trust ability. Well, sure, you could say that, but that's something I need to be able to judge for myself. And usually I'd have to know you for a while. So, don't worry about asking about it. If you're someone I think could make a good mod, I'd probably figure that out in time, if that's the case. The number one rule of becoming a mod is don't ask about becoming a mod. I think that's one of the golden rules too of the internet for those things usually. Where'd you get that crown, Mike? Very fancy. I don't remember crowning you anything. Get used to me. Okay. Like I said, if you're around enough and you're someone that, you seem pretty reliable so far, Phobos. You haven't really caused any problems in the chat. So who knows, maybe one day you will. We'll see what happens. Now that it's not really supposed to be a glamorous position, it's just people that will occasionally block offensive messages or something with spoilers in it or something like that. I don't think there's any real, I don't know, you can ask Mike about the perks of being a mod. It's nothing that's I don't know, nothing that's too advantageous to actually have in your possession. Problem? No, I said you haven't really caused any problems here. Yeah, basically it's just removing comments. It's more of a responsibility than anything. You just want to be blue. Abadi abada, or whatever they say. Oh yeah. I don't even bother, because usually you guys are the ones that do that stuff. I don't even see all the powers that you have, so yeah, report, remove. A report just reports you to YouTube, which is a slap on the wrist probably. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Hide the user on this channel, so it's I can never see their comments again. That's pretty funny. I wonder if that's what it really does. If they ever leave a comment, they actually cannot be seen ever again. That's a weird power. Because then potentially people could just do that to people's comments without me knowing about it. So that's kind of funny. Hey Maddie, what's going on? What's up, guys? It's good we're all settled in, ready to begin. What I should probably do is start recording, so it's actually there in case anything ever happens later with the stream, there's a stream dip. And we lose connectivity. Hiding comments from you is good in case of spoilers. Yeah, you guys do a pretty good job of that. Every now and then I see people mentioning that there's a spoiler posted, but then by the time I look at it, it's already been removed, so thank you guys for that. I'm not sure who actually does it, but whoever it is, and I guess it's a group effort, thank you very much. It was a lot of help, especially during the Danganronpa games, because I know a lot of people were spoiling things left and right for that. But thankfully we had people that were patrolling even the comments of individual videos and removing any spoilers. That was awesome. Because I didn't see any spoilers for that. I think maybe in the very beginning, for the first game, there was a slight spoiler that I saw once. But then after we got a lot of people that are into the Danganronpa games, we had people that were patrolling the comments for that, and I never saw one again. Alright, I'm gonna reset this and start recording. So yeah, let's do that, and then we'll actually begin playing the game. I have to restart the controller, because the controller went off since I haven't touched it for so long. He just made popcorn, that is sweet. Have fun. Right? There we go. Hey everyone, what's going on? As you can see, I'm playing The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, one of my favorite games. And this is actually the Redux version of the game, which you can actually download if you have a proper ROM for it or whatever. Maddie, I think you can actually edit comments on normal videos. You could check that out for yourself one day. If you want. Not that you really have to do that sort of stuff. As you guys can see, we're talking about mod permissions in the chat right now. I'm gonna let this play it one more time. Everyone in chat has already seen this 3 times already. But this is for the actual video in case anything goes wrong. Which is funny, because I don't think I had to do that in a while. Most of these stream archives have been pretty much A-okay. I think the last time we had an issue with a stream kind of failing was during Mario Sunshine. Because that did happen at one point where the stream just died entirely. And that's what I was kind of saying before, I guess I'll say this again for you guys. This game is like one of the first Zelda games to kind of have this story, where they actually tell you about it in-game, and you read about all this, which is really kind of neat. I always loved that in this game, that you had the story actually inside the game, you didn't have to look at the instruction booklet to see what the hell was supposed to be going on. Yeah, I believe that power is available to anyone who is a mod on this channel. Once you're a mod, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want. I seem like a famous channel, but I can't grasp which one. I don't know, who would I remind you of? I can't think of anyone I'm similar to in particular. Not that I'm trying to say like I'm unique or whatever, but... I don't know. Mike knows a few, like, he watches some YouTube channels, so if I remind Mike of anyone that's particularly well-known, maybe he'll know. Can you actually remove your own other mod comments? Like, can mods remove other mod comments? Have like a power struggle going on in chat, that'd be pretty funny. Actually, while I'm watching this intro scene or letting it play out one last time, I'm gonna see, I think the controller's not syncing up properly. So let's, yeah, if I try to, yeah, it's not gonna work. We're gonna watch the intro one last time. Oh no! The game crashed. I think it's because the controller wasn't synced up properly. Let's try that one more time. I don't know, am I like any of those people that are being mentioned? I don't think so. At least I wouldn't say that I'm like them. I kind of mentioned that before. I don't really like a lot of those Let's Play channels that Mike kind of mentioned there. I tend to like channels that don't really talk about the game all that much. Let's see, make this full screen. Should be playing again, should look fine, I hope. Yeah, Mike knows like a lot of Let's Play channels, he watches a lot. So now is it connected? Let's see. Markiplier? Were you saying I was like him? Because I don't really see that comparison at all, even though I don't even watch Markiplier. I just kind of know he screams a lot in some of his videos. And then Mike mentioned Mark Chugga, NCS, HDBL. Yeah, those... I wouldn't say I'm like any of those, really. You can't remove Mike's comments, but you can block them. I don't know what that does. That's kind of weird. Yeah. It's probably best not to, like, mess around with that too much, just in case. Yeah, I don't care for things being super informative. Like, I don't get obsessive about games and need to know every little factoid about them. I like to hear, like, people's perspectives on them more than just every little detail about the game. Like I told you, one of the early channels that I watched when I was, like, first getting to YouTube and, like, video game content, I watched a channel called Red Clock. And he was someone who, like, he wasn't really, like, very good at the game. He wasn't someone that was very knowledgeable about every single game. But it was just amusing to, like, watch him play in his perspective and, like, the little things he'd talk about. That's what would be amusing to me. And that's kind of, like, videos I like to watch. The game that I'm most informative about is Orphan, yeah. I mean, to be honest, who else actually knows about Orphan other than Mike? I guess with that game, I kind of feel a need to explain it because no one else actually knows anything about it. Alright, I'm gonna start a game. Do you guys want to pick out a name for the character, or should we just go with Link again? Like we did before? In some of the games, anyway. The first one, I think. Link is fine. Dad sass? Daddy sass. You can make me laugh. We've got a tie, I guess. Link and Daddy sass. Will Dad sass fit? How many characters can we get in this game? I don't think we can. There's yeah, that's the limit. Huh. I guess we just go with Link. Wow. You only get 6 characters in this game. I thought we got even more in the last one, didn't we? That's weird. Alright, we'll just keep things at Link then, I guess. You can barely fit any names. I think once we get to like Ocarina of Time, don't we get more characters? I don't know, I think we do. Make him Ink? Ink or Link? Well, anyway guys, at long last we're gonna actually begin the game. As you can see, we're playing the modded version. Not the modded version, but whatever you want to call it. The Redux version. I guess it is kind of like a mod. Let's begin. Oh wait, it does have the intro. Okay. I didn't know this one did have that. What is this? Cutscenes in an SNES game?
Link! We are done for the day. Let's head home.
Yeah, somehow he had voice acting in Zelda. Long before Breath of the Wild.
My first harvest. These apples are perfect. Just the right color and shine.
Let me see. This is a great start for the season.
It's kind of funny because they're showing him almost like a farmer.
The best apple orchard in all of Hyrule. Everyone's gonna travel here to try.
But there's not really any indication in like the intro of this game that he's like some kind of a farmer or whatever. They're just kind of like living out in the middle of the town. Or not in the town, but in the middle of the country.
Link's legendary apple orchard.
Yeah, he sounds really quiet to me too. I think it's the video itself that just has low volume. And I think, oh no, there's more to it. I could try to turn up for this a little bit.
Link, do you ever think about leaving the farm? You always wanted to become a knight of Hyrule. There is far more out there than just apples.
I don't think I'm needed for that. And I wouldn't want to carry around a heavy sword and shield all day and miss out on home-cooked meals like this.
Well said. Let's eat.
There's an old lady hunched over the pot.
Thank you for everything. You protected me after my parents died, and have been taking care of me ever since.
Yeah, so I have no idea who did this.
And I hope one day I can be as kind and honorable as you.
Whoever it was.
You're growing up, Link. You're growing up.
They actually did a better job than like the CDI games. Somehow. Hey Yeleno, how's it going? Yeah, it's a fan project where they like added a bunch of stuff to the game. I think it's the work of like several different people over different years too. So it's like a combination of different things.
Who are you?
I am Zelda. Who are you?
I'm Link.
Link. You must help me. I'm in the castle dungeon. Hurry! There's a secret passage behind the bush at the castle gate. Hurry!
And he wakes up all startled. Now, it's really funny because obviously that kind of just redoes the intro to the game a little bit and adds a little bit of additional backstory about like Link being a farmer or whatnot. Now, here I have to... This is kind of saying the same thing that we already saw with the video. Now, I think the video is kind of like a cool thing. Just as a one-off now, the volume's a bit loud again, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna lower that. I think the game is pretty cool, like, with that edit in. But the only problem is, I feel like it adds a lot of time to, like, begin the actual game itself. And usually when I play Link to the Past, I already know everything about the story, so I'm just, like, mashing to get through these scenes. But I figured it was something cool to show off for, like, a one-time thing. Link, I'm going out for a while, I'll be back by morning, don't leave the house. Ugh, we're gonna leave the house, what are you talking about, Uncle? It's the first thing we're gonna do. Yeah, and I guess the uncle just sleeps in the chair, because Link has the one bed. Now, as you might be able to tell, the music's completely different too. It's like completely orchestrated and all that, which is pretty neat. The reason why I wanted to use it all orchestrated was because it kind of avoids that whole issue where I told you about how like the NES and the SNES could only play a certain amount of sounds at one time. So occasionally like the audio would actually skip certain notes if you had too many sounds playing at once. And yeah, I just find that really cool that now you can actually hear the music in all its glory, even if it is different music. You're not allowed in the castle, son. Go home and get some sleep. Oh yeah, you might also be able to tell that Link actually has brown hair, like he's supposed to. I don't know why in the original game they gave him pink hair. Like, obviously it was easy enough to give him brown hair. Or dirty blonde hair. I don't know what it's technically supposed to be. Yeah, and I guess you find out a little bit more about the uncle too, although that's really just like kind of speculation on what he was supposed to be like. Oh, that voice, Link, is it you? I told you to wait at home. Take my sword and shield and listen. You can focus fire on the blade, hold the B button. Then release it to use the secret technique taught by our people. You must rescue Princess Zelda. You're fated to do so. But do not fall victim to fate, Link. I shall always remember our time together. And you might notice that, yeah, the text is a little bit different too. Kind of says something a little bit different. And no, he still doesn't. You see Link cry over his dead body. It's so sad. What is up, uncaged wolf? How's it going? But we'll leave him be. You can also see the menus completely redesigned. It's gonna make like having the bottles a lot easier too. You'll probably see that once you get the actual bottles themselves. Defeating enemies is pretty much the same way it's always been. Oh, and watch this. You can actually break pots with your sword now. Which is something they did add in the Game Boy Advance version, I believe. But I don't really like the Game Boy Advance version because the resolution's really tiny on that. And it doesn't look as good in my opinion. So yeah, now we have the best of both worlds, which is really awesome. I heard a bunch of excuses that some kind of color limitation. Yeah, I don't think it's actually color limitation because they're obviously able to fix it in this thing. So I don't really know. I think it was more like a design choice for the art, where they thought the pink kind of stood out more. But yeah, that's just my guess. Really. Yeah, he could do what he was meant to do, break pots. It's funny because in the first couple of games he didn't actually do that. It wasn't really until Ocarina of Time when you could actually break the pots with your sword. Like in this game you actually have to pick them up and throw them, and that takes such effort. But yeah, now everything's in its right place. Oh, by the way, how is the music for everyone? Is it of a proportional volume to my voice? Do I need to adjust anything? Because kind of messing around during the cutscene, since that was particularly low. I don't think they got most of the ideas from that, because there's going to be more things that are different, as you'll see later. But there's definitely a few things they probably got. And there's the map, which I usually never get. It wasn't until you got the golden sword. I guess in the Game Boy version. Can't really hear it too much. Alright, I'll try to adjust the volume a little bit. There we go. I made it a little bit louder. And of course, if it's a problem later, I could probably adjust it afterwards for like the video itself. Yeah, you had the golden sword in the SNES version, of course. Was someone saying otherwise? Obviously, the golden sword is in the SNES version because if you'd ever watched our other playthroughs of this game in the race, obviously we got it. Oh, you mean you were able to break the pots with it in the SNES version? No, I don't think you could do that. You might be getting it mixed up with the Game Boy version, because I'm pretty sure... Yeah, well, I don't know, would they really add that in? I don't think they did. But I can't really say, I don't know if I ever really tried breaking pots after you get the golden sword, because by the time you get the golden sword in the game, it's almost over. So I don't know if you even tried. But we're not gonna break these pots here, we're gonna actually carry one over. Because that makes this guy a little bit easier. Oh, also, you actually switch items on the fly, which is really cool. So I can stun him, mess him up. And that's pretty sweet, because you don't have to pause the game anymore to actually switch your items. Get ready to pick up this chest. I don't know, I was kind of thinking that maybe I should read the text in this one a little bit more. Obviously, I was already skipping it. Basically, Zelda's saying she's held prisoner here. She's imprisoned by Aghanim. He's an inhuman fiend. He's also supposed to be like the priest of the castle. So he imprisoned her here. He also imprisoned the other 7 girls that were part of the, like the lineage of the wise men. Actually, we could have her repeat it. There. Yeah, he's controlling the so the soldier's supposed to be like brainwashed too. And we're supposed to be looking out for her father, but I'm pretty sure her father might already be dead. Which kind of sucks for her. Yeah, so there's a secret passage out on the first floor. We'll go there next. Now, usually I just like skip all the stuff in this game because I played it so many times, but I might actually show stuff off as if people are seeing it for the first time. Just for anyone who's happened to be new to this game. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Maddie. Getting sleepy already? I guess it was a long Monday for you, huh? Is the sword swinging animation slightly different? I don't believe it is. Doesn't look any different to me. I don't think they would change too many little things. I think they just did... Did I say birthday? No, I said she had a long, like, Monday. Maybe I didn't enunciate enough. If so, my apologies. You're ready to take a nap before I started streaming? Well, I'm sorry I interrupted your nap. But hey, if you have to go early, don't let me keep you up. I would feel bad. Alright, so we just want to go this way to get out to the secret passage. Yeah, and Zelda will usually tell you about where stuff is. So it takes us to the sanctuary. The old man there will help us out. Actually, I'm kind of surprised they left the text as just the old man. I always thought that was supposed to be like a kind of censorship thing, where they didn't want to call him a priest. And obviously they already corrected the text to make Aghanim a priest, so it's kind of weird that they actually left him as just the old man. The ornamental shelf should open. You have a light. Actually, we do have a light. Let's do this. Because yeah, it's kind of funny. A lot of these games that are made in Japan, they like to use like Christian imagery for some things occasionally, and then it ends up getting censored in the actual like American version, which is kind of silly. I guess because other people get offended that they actually use that. Alright, we'll take all the money we can get. We're gonna need it for later. Right, these snakes will actually charge to you if you're like kind of parallel to them. So you usually want to avoid that. Getting some sugary snacks, well that is always a good thing to have. As long as you don't overindulge, of course. And yeah, like I said, those snakes can be a pain if you're not careful. Yeah, we have to get this. This is the key first to get out of this room. It's funny, they kind of mentioned this underground area is a bit of a maze, but it isn't too confusing if you know where you're going. But I guess you could say the same about anything if you're going by that logic. Just want to... Oh, come here. See if I get some more health. Actually, I'm not too bad. So I'll just ignore them. It's funny, the lamp actually acts more like a flashlight than a lamp, for whatever reason. I guess because it's easiest for you to see that way. If it's an actual flashlight. Or maybe it's something to do with the way Link's holding it. Now, obviously, if I was trying to speedrun this thing, I probably wouldn't be fighting all these monsters or animals, wherever they're supposed to be like that. It's always funny whether you're supposed to call these things monsters or animals, because most of them are actually just animals, but I guess they're possessed by evil spirits, so they're actually monsters. Because for whatever reason, they're all out to kill you. I guess it's supposed to be Ganon's magic, or something silly like that. I'm actually getting a pretty decent amount of money for the early game. You don't have to level up in this game? Oh yeah, thank God. I'm so glad that when they made this game, they actually kind of reverted back to the original Zelda formula and just improved that. Thankfully, they pretty much abandoned most of the things from Zelda 2, which made that a bit of a pain for me to play. And like I mentioned when I was playing those other games, this is the game I played the most out of the original 3 Zelda games. Just because of how good it was and how it basically perfected that formula. Princess Zelda, you are safe. Is this your doing, Link? Well, yes, it was. It was Link who helped me escape from the dungeon when I was captive of the priest. Shouldn't it be when I was captive of the priest? Well, I don't know. Zelda doesn't have the best English. That's okay. What? Oh, no. Okay, when I was captive. Then it's... Yeah, another thing that's kind of funny about this game is the way the text is presented. Because, like, that sentence was supposed to have ended there. And then the priest said, once I have finished with you, the final one, the seal of the sages will open. So I have a little, like, text cliffhangers, almost. Link, you must not let the land of Hyrule fall into the... And see, again, you have to click it again to actually move it. The priest clutches. If it releases the seal of the 7 sages, evil power will overwhelm this land. Before that happens, before it's too late, destroy. The priest, before he destroys all of Hyrule. You can do it! You can! I sense that a mighty evil force guides the priest's actions and augments his magical power. The only weapon potent enough to defeat the priest is the legendary Master Sword. It is said that the village elder is a descendant of one of the 7 sages. Maybe he can tell you more. I'll mark his house on your map, but watch your every move. I am certain that the castle soldiers will be looking for you now. I will hide Princess Zelda here. Do not worry. Seek the elder. Do you understand? Of course I do. Well, I can always talk to them again. Actually, I'll probably want... Oh, no, I don't have to now. Got the extra hearts. Meet the elder. Be careful out there, Link. Yes. Now, technically, if you just want to play the game quickly, you don't even need to go speak to the elder. But since, like I said, I'm not really trying to do it particularly quick run of the game this time, I'm just going to try to do the game as they want you to do it. So, we're actually going to go see the elder for like probably the first time that I've ever done in, I don't know, years. What are we talking about killing the priest for? The priest is actually a good guy. Unless you're talking about the priest Aghanim. Because now they're calling him a priest in this version of the game, and that does make it a little bit confusing. Because they kept on referring to the priest as like the bad guy, and originally they just said Aghanim, I believe. Because it wasn't proper to call him a priest, because that would have been controversial. I guess. Alright, before we go to the town though, we're gonna go this way. Yeah, I think in the US version they made him a wizard, because, you know, that's less controversial than having Link go kill a priest. I guess it makes sense. First, I'll get some extra heart piece here, very quickly. Now, this game I have pretty much memorized, so I'll probably be able to find most of the stuff on my own. I'd actually be very surprised if I did have to use a guide for this game, because I've just had this game so memorized at this point. Now, since I am streaming this and I am like watching chat and talking to people half the time too, I probably am going to forget stuff occasionally. I have to go back and find it later, because I'm not totally focused on the game, unlike other times that I've been playing this. Yeah, a priest wouldn't also be able to fire a beam at people. Well, it depends. In some, like, fantasy literature, priests do have magical powers. Kind of like that. I don't remember if there's anything else I need to get from the forest right now. think we're good. Alright, this guy's gonna come try to get us, and he's gotten closer than I want him to, so let's kill him. A ray gun. If he had a ray gun, that'd make things much easier. So you look at the sign, wanted. This is a criminal who kidnapped Zelda. Call a soldier if you see him. Wow, thanks guys. And this old lady here, if you speak to her, I think, does it show it on the map? How do I get to the map from here? I don't remember the map button. Jeez, does that have to actually be out of the house to use the map? Let me see. There we go. Yeah, it tells us to go here, so this is where you would originally come if you were just going by like the map in the game. And you speak to this old lady, and she's all like, "Who? Oh, it's you, Link. What can I do for you, young man? The Elder? Oh, no one has seen him since the priest began collecting victims." What? Master Sword? Well, I don't remember the details exactly, but long ago a prosperous people known as the Hylians inhabited this land. Legends tell of many treasures that the Hylians hid throughout the land. The Master Sword, a mighty blade forged against those with evil hearts, is one of them. People say that now it is sleeping deep in the forest. Do you understand? Anyway, look for the Elder. There must be someone in the village who knows where he is. Take care, Link. Alright. Yeah, I guess you can't use the map inside houses. I didn't actually know that. Probably because I very rarely tried to access the map. Alright, now let's look at the map. I don't think it tells you. So you pretty much, if you're playing this game for the first time, you have to talk to everyone, I guess, to try to figure out what you're doing. I don't want to go here just yet. Let's come over this way first. There's a lot of stuff you can get from this town if you know what you're doing properly. And you do pretty much most of it right away, which is cool. Get our first collection of bombs here. I'm gonna use one right away, and I have to remember I could actually just change items on the fly if I want to. Collect some more money this way. We all know you played the game. Yeah, I probably made that clear enough times. A shopkeeper have a ray gun? I don't know what you're talking about. Shopkeeper with a ray gun? Not in this game anyway. That would make things much easier. A heart piece in which house? You mean this house over here? There is indeed. We are going to get it in just a second. I might want to talk to that guy too, actually. There actually is a lot of story they give you in this. If you're talking to everyone, that is. Just do that. We'll collect the money first, of course, because we'll need that for later in the game. Like a lot of Zelda games, there is a particular part where you are required to have a lot of money to spend. Seems like it's something they just have to do as a tradition. Give you some reason to spend all that money. There's another piece of heart. We almost have a whole one already. Oh, you mean like, yeah, in Link's Awakening, the guy that's a shopkeeper, he's like a Sith Lord. If you steal from him, he just like zaps you to death. It's pretty intense. Yo, Link, this house used to be a hideout for a gang of thieves. What was their leader's name? Oh yeah, his name was Blind, and he hated bright light a lot. That doesn't seem particularly important right now, but trust me, it will be later. Now, we can quickly buy a bottle from this guy. Have you been living your life without one of my hold-anything bottles? Step right up and make your life complete. There's a lot more that we need to do in this game before we make our life complete. Goodbye. Now hold it above your head. It's good for advertising, yes. So about promotion, I think he would have given you a discount if you did that. But alas, he does not. This guy looks like a red mage from Final Fantasy, and we just chase him away. Come over here quickly and get the bug nets. Wake up, kid. I can't go out because I'm sick. People say I caught this cold from the evil air that's coming down off the mountain. Sniff, sniff. This is my bug-catching net. I'll use it when I'm better, but for now I'll lend it to you. How kind. It's usually not what kids are like in real life. They don't just like lend you stuff like that. You borrowed it, there may be some things you could catch with it. Of course there is. Another thing that's kind of funny is they talk about the mountain air and like the evil coming down from it that poisons the kid. It's funny because a lot of people say in real life that mountain air is supposed to be good for you. Though I don't know how true that actually is. Because at the same time, isn't it harder to breathe if you're at a higher elevation? So I don't know about that whatsoever. Whoa, there's a chicken under there. Alright, I'm gonna go over to the left because there's a room we could go to where we could basically grind up bombs for like infinite. Like you keep on going back in and out as many times as you want. So you can do it as much as you want right here. We will need more bombs for later. That's like I don't know if it's like a folktale, but it's like an urban legend or whatever, that mountain air is supposed to be good for you. It's supposed to be therapeutic in some way. You know what I think it goes back to? I remember hearing about when they had, what was it, like that, like, I don't remember the name, but there was like an illness going around like the 19th century, I think it was the 19th century? And like they had a lot of people go to these like asylums in like the mountains, like some places like Colorado, and would try to help them get better, but it really didn't work, I don't believe. Yeah, if you see it from the guy in Link to the Past, he calls you a thief, and somehow renames your character, which is kind of funny. Alright, that's all the bombs we can carry. Wait, can we? No, we can't carry anymore, never mind. I guess we'll get the max amount. I don't know what the max amount is. It just makes it easier for later. So yeah, there is some grinding in this game you can do as well. But luckily it's not anywhere near as much as you can do in Link's Adventure. Yeah, it does get kind of weird they keep calling you thief. Like, come on. I just tried to steal one item once and now I'm forever branded a thief. So harsh. I guess that was like Miyamoto trying to teach you morals. You steal once, you're forever a thief. How dare you? And it also counts as death too, wow. Alright, so if we come to this guy here with the blue hair, speak to him. Hi, Link. Elder, are you talking about the grandpa? Okay, but don't tell any of the bad people about this. He's hiding in the palace past the castle. I'll mark the spot on your map. Here you are. There we go. Now, I don't know if there's actually stuff you want to find in these houses here. Oh, there's actually some funky music to go with him. Even though we only heard a little bit of it. I believe you go in this woman's house. The rumors you kidnapped the princess, but I still trust you. Yeah, there's something in this house, but I don't think it's anything too important. I think you could usually skip this. But we'll come here anyway to check up on it. Should hit the chickens for amusement. I guess we could show off. I feel bad doing it because it's basically animal abuse, but we'll do it here real quick. Show off what happens if you assault the chickens. So it takes a few hits, but eventually, when you hit the chickens enough, does it not happen because we're inside the house? Alright, never mind. No, it doesn't work inside. Okay. So we're just abusing a chicken for no reason then. That's fun. So if we come over down here though, where there is a chicken, and just relentlessly beat up on this poor animal. Hey, get back here. Try to get him in a corner, because then he can't really get out. If you do this enough, what will happen is... And I'm sure most people probably know this already. There's a well-known thing about Zelda games. Actually, does this not happen? Maybe they removed it from this version of the game, I don't know. That's weird. But usually it'll attack you. Like, there'll be a whole horde of them that come rushing in to kill you. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all you can do in this town. I believe we went everywhere. Yeah, we spoke to him. I guess I'll show you what happens if we speak to the old lady. Hey, here's Link! The wanted man! Soldiers, anyone, come quickly! Whoa. Wow, it actually uses the kind of music from, There's a lot like the mini-boss battles when you're playing Ocarina of Time. It's the same kind of theme. That's really funny. I remember what the music was like for the original version, but this is definitely different. That's actually pretty cool. Anyway, if you defeat him, it should stop the music. There we go. That was kind of neat. I'm glad I actually tried that out. Yeah, all the Nintendo characters they're pretty much guilty of animal abuse for whatever reason. Nintendo loves seeing that in games, I guess. Now these guys actually have a little bit of a backstory if you talk to them. Yeah, Link, now I'm quarreling with my younger brother. I sealed the door to his room. If you do this... Yeah, who knew the Gallagher brothers were in A Link to the Past? Like a few years before they even got famous anyway. Hey Link, do you come from my older brother's room? Is he still angry? I think you may actually say something new if you speak to him over here. Yeah, I'll make it with my brother. So maybe not quite the Gallagher brothers they're actually gonna make up. But oh well. I'm trying to think. This game was like 1991. I don't remember when Oasis got popular. Do this really quick. Now, some people don't realize you actually do this right away, but it's really simple to do if you just go in that pattern. You found a piece of heart. Your level increased. Yes, we did it. A full heart. So that makes 2 hearts that we got without even having to do like a actual temple. So that's pretty funny. Did the brother seal the other one from getting to town? Pretty much, unless he wanted to do that maze and then jump out. I guess he was pretty much stuck there forever. Now, I think this is a mini-game room. Yeah. Now, this is one of those games where you could get money from a chest. I'll show it off real quick, but we're probably gonna lose because I always lose these things when I'm first doing them. Oh no, I actually got 50 rupees. But that's all I'm gonna do. I see no reason to do that over and over again. What are we talking about? A Kirby Battle Royale game? What in the world? So like Kirby PUBG? Why would that ever be a thing? What in the world? That'd be so silly. Is this an actual thing? A Kirby Battle Royale game? That's a serious thing that's coming out. What? Okay. Well, you know, you live long enough, you see all sorts of things. Alright, Phobos, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Now, there are more things we could do in the overworld. At least I think there are. Yeah, there are some more things you can do. But for now, I'm just gonna go over to the palace and take care of that first. We did the most important things. Did I miss something? Says Uncaged Wolf. I haven't seen you in a while here, so yeah, you probably missed... What was it, about 30 minutes of gameplay? I think I said at the beginning of the stream. But what's going on, Uncaged Wolf? What do you have a question about? We haven't done too much, so I can get you up to speed pretty quickly if you have a question about the game. And as always, if you're streaming a game, be sure you're making sure you're not in danger of being attacked by an enemy when you're checking chat. Just good advice in general. Anyway, let's come up over here. Because before we do go to the palace, this one is something really quick we can do. Let's come over to this witch over here. If we give the witch the mushroom, she'll tell you to come back later. Now, it's really silly, because they tell you to come back later, you just have to go off screen slightly, and then go right back. So, I don't know why they just don't give it to you right away. It's just kind of a silly thing they do in these games. This guy has a bag of potion, or not potion, but a bag of magic powder for you. And if you talk to him, he'll give you a sample of potion. So you get full health once again. You're doing some homework? Okay. By the way, Uncaged Wolf, are you familiar with this game at all? I'm not sure if you've seen A Link to the Past before or not. I kind of assume most people have, because it's such a beloved game by me, but then again, there are a lot of people that probably haven't played all these games. Was that supposed to be a guy? Who? If you're talking about the one outside, I think that was a woman, like a witch. And the one inside, I assume that's a guy, but I don't really know. It's not really important either way, I guess. There's some weird potion in a robe. Or a person, not a potion. Eh, I have no idea. Just someone in a hood. How can you even tell? Am I assuming genders? Yes, I assume genders all day long. I assume genders like no one's business. So as you were. I only played Twilight Prince. Okay, yeah. So if you're new to this game, we haven't really done too much at all. We saved Princess Zelda, and she's living with a priest. In the meantime, we have to go around trying to get magic pendants so we could unlock the Master Sword. It's, I would have said it's a lot like Ocarina of Time, but you didn't list Ocarina of Time amongst the games you played. But it's pretty much very, very similar to Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is pretty much a remake of this game in 3D, which is pretty funny. I am oh my god. I am Sahasrara, the village elder and a descendant of the 7 sages. Oh really? Link, I'm surprised a young man like you is searching for the Sword of Evil's Bane. Not just anyone can use that weapon. Legends say only the hero who has won the 3 pendants can wield the sword. Do you really want to find it? I like how it's yeah and of course. It's so silly. Good. As a test, can you retrieve the Pendant of Courage from the East Palace? If you bring it here, I'll tell you more of the legend and give you a magical artifact. There we go. Yeah, and our uncle died in the very beginning too. You could actually bomb that, but we don't need to go there just yet. We could actually unlock it without a bomb later, once we get a certain item. And since I'm cheap, that's the way I'm gonna do it. Let's get our Boomerang back equipped. So it does help to have that equipped. Yeah, most of the times you really want to have the Boomerang equipped out of all the other items, since you can use it to stun enemies. It's just something that's helpful to have, in case anyone's coming close to you like that. Let's knock that guy out. And you're usually stunned for a good while too, so it makes it easy to get past enemies that are blocking your way. That's funny. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that too. In fact, maybe I showed that to you, Michael. I don't remember. But yeah, that does sound familiar. And wasn't a mod for this game? I thought it was like a ROM hack for this, A Link to the Past. Actually, we want to go this way, just so we can get some additional funds. Oh yeah, and listen to this dungeon music. That's completely remade too. The top-down 2D Zelda games never interest me. The funny thing is, I would kind of agree with you with a number of them. Like, I kind of mentioned back when I was playing the original Legend of Zelda, it wasn't really that amazing to me, but I really love A Link to the Past. Also, Link's Awakening, that's really good too. You can go over that way to get a map, but I'm not going to really bother with that. It's not really relevant to the story, but yeah, just so you know, you can get a map that way, if you really feel so inclined. Also, you're playing the randomized version of the game, you probably want to go that way because you never know what's going to be in that chest over there. There's a speedrunner trick you can do here, we could like kill 2 enemies and open up the door, but I did not do it correctly because I've not done that in a while, so I kind of forgot how to do that. I think this is like the compass over there. Don't need to bother getting that. Yeah, the music in this game, this is all remade. This isn't the original music of the game, actually. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I will agree, they did a good job of picking out the music for this. And I'm not sure who actually made the music, if it's like fan-made music, or if it's like music from a symphony or something. Like the Nintendo Symphony. I don't know if they even have one. I know like Final Fantasy, they have a symphony that goes around playing Final Fantasy songs. But I don't know if that's true for Nintendo as well. I kind of assume it must be, just because they have a lot of famous songs. Why am I treating this like a speedrun where I won't even bother opening a chest right by him? Well, it's not really a speedrun at all because I'd be doing things much differently if it was a speedrun. I've never properly speedrun this game because a speedrun requires you to know a lot about certain aspects to glitch certain parts of the game to do things. I have played it quickly and raced it, but I would never say I actually attempted to speedrun it. And those chests aren't important. I know for a fact they don't have anything in them. It's either a compass or a map. I don't need either of those things. So that's just me saving time. Got the big key. I will say the original music for the game is pretty good too. There's one that plays Chrono Trigger songs. Yeah, I think It's probably the same one that does the Final Fantasy music, because those are both Square games. Though, I don't know, was Chrono Trigger composed by Nobuo Uematsu? I think it was actually composed by someone else, and he, like, helped with some of the writing. So maybe it is by different people. I don't really know for a fact, though. You found the bow, you could shoot arrows until you run out. And unlike the original Legend of Zelda, it actually uses arrows, not money, when you're firing your bow. So yes, how advanced we are that we've moved beyond that. I'll say it again for the 10,000th time, it's just, I love this game so much, and it really is, in my opinion, kind of like the perfect example of what Zelda should be. This is like kind of the game that set the mold for all the future games. I know a lot of people love the first game and they're nostalgic for it, but to me this really is the game that made Zelda what it was and like what it would be. Like I feel this game has so much more in common with what Ocarina of Time would be and future games would be, more so than the first Zelda game really was. Because this is really like the first Zelda game where you get like all these items and dungeons and like they're used for puzzles inside the dungeons. Like when you got the items inside the first game, they really weren't used that too much, if you kind of noticed. Like there'd be a few instances every now and then, but like overall the items weren't that useful. In this game you actually kind of have to use them for like these bosses, like, or not bosses, but these enemies in particular. You have to use the arrows to take them out. Well, you don't have to, but it makes it like 100 times easier. With those ones you have to, the red ones. And like, obviously this is the game that introduces the hookshot, and that's like the greatest item ever made in a Zelda game. And I have to say, I'm so disappointed when they made, what was it, Breath of the Wild, and they didn't have the hookshot. I just felt like that is such a loss. Like, it's such a fantastic game item. To get rid of that, it was like blasphemy to me. You can take them out if you're really quick, but I don't think I've ever done that. Taking them both out at once. Get those arrows really quickly. It does seem fun to play, but it's not for me. Yeah, that's fine. Not every game is for everyone. It is something I would recommend most people to try out, at least once. Because it is a lot of fun. We're gonna go to the boss after this, so I'm just gonna quickly catch up on chat. I saw this meme. They're cracking jokes about how people wanted to buy a bow after playing Zelda games. That probably is true. I'm sure there are a lot of them that actually wanted to. Yeah, and the boomerang. Yeah, I always thought it would be cool, like have a boomerang and try to figure out how to use it. But I never did. I'd rather play this in the second game. Yeah, that's for sure. I think that is a very fair statement that anyone, well, probably not anyone, but most people would agree to. This game is so much more refined than the second one, and even the first game. Right, these guys are really quick to take out if you know what you're doing. I'll probably mess up a little bit because, like I said, I'm kind of out of practice with this game. I think we messed up. Yeah. Well, this still works obviously just as easily. You own a boomerang, really? Yeah, I imagine it's very difficult to use. These games make it look so easy, but to actually get that thing to work, I have no idea what that even involves. I assume they didn't want to make the hookshot in Breath of the Wild because they introduced all those like climbing and the paraglider things, which I didn't really care particularly for. You won the Pendant of Courage, take it to Sahasrara. 2 pendants remain. Of course. Like, I kind of see why they wanted to do something different, so they made that whole paragliding and climbing element to the game, but I didn't really care much for it. The climbing was a pain in the ass to me. Especially whenever you tried to play the game and it would start raining. Then it's like, oh great, now I have to sit around like an asshole for 5 minutes while I wait for the rain to end. Or try to find another way around. You got the Pendant of Courage. 3 or 4 generations ago, an order of knights protected the Hylian royalty. These knights of Hyrule were also guardians of the Pendant of Courage. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the Great War against Evil that took place when the 7 sages created their seal. Among the descendants of the knights of Hyrule, a hero must appear. I see. Link, I believe you. You should get the remaining pendants, and carry this with you. This is a treasure passed down by the families of the sages. I want you to have it. There we go. We got the Pegasus Boots, now we can execute a devastating dash attack. Hold A for a short time. Wait to see what happens now. This is gonna be really cool for you guys. Helpful items located in a hidden cave on the east side of Lake Hylia. Get it! Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, and the stamina system in Breath of the Wild, that was really annoying too. Because you run out of stamina so quickly, and another thing that bothered me was that your swimming was also dependent on stamina. So like, as soon as you like fall into the water, if you're climbing, you instantly drown, which is stupid as hell. And like, the fact is, your stamina runs out so quickly while you're swimming. It's like, why does Link drown so quickly? Doesn't make any sense. If you actually know how to tread water, it doesn't take a lot of stamina at all. But, yeah. Anyway, so, for those of you who are familiar with the Pegasus Boots, you probably know how they work, but watch this, guys. You could actually turn while using the Pegasus Boots. Holy crap. That is so amazing. And it's such a big improvement. I don't know why they didn't do that in the game itself. Also, when you're transitioning through screens, you actually save your dash, and if it wasn't for the fact that this bastard hit me, we could have kept on running for pretty much the entire way to the next dungeon. Of course, these guys had to be a pain in the ass and hit me. So, let me just go around and over this way. Now, we should take that shortcut like the guy mentioned, because there are some things we can collect real quick. Yeah, that bastard hitting me. What a scumbag. I think this is just a fairy, maybe. So we don't need to go in here. Yep, I was right. And if we go all the way down, we'll be on the way to that area they mentioned where we could get a secret item, which we don't really need right now, but it'll be good to have for later. And of course, you do have a lot of enemies on the screen. It does still cause slowdown. That can't be avoided, I guess. I guess unless they remade the game for like another system and got rid of that. These guys are actually gonna be a huge pain in the ass later when we get to the third dungeon. Why must heroes get special shoes to be able to run? I don't know, cause I guess back then, like this is 1991, running really wasn't a thing in games too much. Like people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there were a lot of games that had these kind of running mechanics like that. Especially not like the first Zelda game. In that game you had to walk everywhere. And you guys saw how slow that was. Take some rupees, but don't tell anyone I gave them to you. I'm gonna tell everyone. Gotta go fast. Yeah, gotta go fast indeed. Your hashtag comment on the Discord made me laugh a bunch of— oh yeah, you mean the I don't even know what that was about. Like people saying the universe began on Thursday, and like, blasphemy, that was supposed to begin on Friday. I don't know, it's just kinda me messing around. Whoa, I don't know how we didn't get hit by that green guy. You also buy a pair of running shoes in the Pokemon games as well. Could you? I don't remember that. Unless that's supposed to be one of the other Pokemon games from later, which I never played. Didn't Pokemon have fast travel though? I thought you could after a while. Like you could use one of the bird Pokemons to fly away to like another town. I slightly remember that being a thing. But yeah, Pokemon was another game. Like I said, I only played the first one, but it was way too slow, the way you walked around. The first Pokemon game is a lot like the Zelda game, like the first Zelda game, where you like basically move at a snail's pace throughout the entire game. You can get some fairies if you want to go in that room, but we don't need them. The ice rod's pretty cool to have, but it really isn't too important until like the very end of the game, which is really funny. But they tell you to get it almost in the beginning. Yeah, Generation 3, I never played that far. I didn't feel like playing the same game 3 times, or whatever it was. Probably even more than that, because I'd played Pokemon Yellow, which was kind of cool because it was a bit different. It, like, tried to incorporate the story from the anime a little bit. Not that it was incredibly different. Same basic premise. But I don't know, I was always more of a fan of these older Nintendo games than like the newer ones that came out, like Pokemon. Zelda was always where it was at, and also playing the other games too, like Mario, I always enjoyed. Now before we can go to the dungeon, which is to the left, you actually have to get something else. Actually, hold on a second, let's be nice. Let's help this little fish out. Hate to see a fish struggling like this. Come here, fish. There we go. Well, unfortunately, there's a second one, but you can only save one at a time. Sorry, dude. Throw this guy in here, and he'll say, take some rupees. There we go. Yeah, be careful because sometimes the rupee can end up in the water and you don't collect it. Not that it's too important since we have a lot of money anyway. Trying to drown now, just trying to make sure I got the money. Like I said, if it falls in the water, then you just can't collect it. So sometimes it helps to do that. You want to make sure you get it. And actually, I wasn't paying too much attention. I don't know if going in the water loses health in this game. I don't think it does, actually. Just come past this way. Now, we didn't go in this building before, but we did pass by it. There's actually a library in this game, believe it or not. Not that there's much you can do in it, other than this one particular thing, which we'll do now, and then we'll never come here again. Bash into this, and you get the book. Now, what is this book, you ask? Well, it's the Book of Medora. You use to read the ancient language of the Hylians. Yeah, Uncaged Wolf, you actually can swim in this game, but like a lot of other stuff in this game, it's an item you have to collect later. And that's actually the item I was mentioning a little bit before, where you have to spend a ton of money on. Of course. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, do you need to get the flippers for anything in particular? I've always collected them, but I don't know if you actually need to get them. I can't remember if there's anything you actually need to use the flippers for. Like if you're just doing purely the dungeons in the story. Yeah, and funny enough, Link's able to wear the boots and the flippers at the same time. Don't ask me how that works, but he can. I guess he's just an amazing guy, that's Link. Alright, Maddie G, take care. Hope to see you later. Come up here. Yeah, we got a cave over here you can go in. And we can get another heart piece right here. In fact, there's another man you can talk to if you come here. I don't think they really mention him, but he's supposed to be like another one of these kinds of elders, I guess. The Book of Medora. With it, you could read the language of the Hylian people. Yeah. I guess he tells you about it if you don't know you're supposed to collect it. Not that you'd necessarily know to come to this cave either, because I don't think they mention that anywhere. But since we already got the Book of Medora, we don't have to go backtracking through the game, which is nice. And we can just go ahead and go to the dungeon. Now this is a funny part of the game too, I'll mention in just a second. Don't want to talk about it in advance. We get any health maybe? No, probably not. Game's not going to be that nice to me. Let's go this way. Past this damn buzzard. Or vulture, whatever you're supposed to be. Get the book equipped. To open the way to go forward, make your wish here and it will be granted. That's right, because they talk about you're able to make a wish here, and whatever your wish is, it'll be granted. So, like, why doesn't Link just wish right here for, like, the rest of the pendants? Or for the Triforce? Or for Ganon to be defeated? Or I guess Aghanim, but whatever. Anyway, he just wishes for this to be opened, and yeah. These things move, and the way forward will be open. Now, the reason for that is it's because it would make the game way too easy, right? We can't have that. Repeatedly hit this guy really quick. Nothing wants to drop hearts for me, which is nice. This music does sound so much more menacing like this. Huh. I come all the way over here to try to look for items, or for hearts, and of course I don't get any. Well, that's the way things go. There's no real reason to be in this room. You do get a map, I believe. But I'm mostly looking around for items. There we go. Thankfully, we put it into the damn beeping. Now this is where we can get the key. This is really where you have to go to. More than the other room. And once you got that, we're able to head right out and go to the area where we get the big key. Now it's really funny because you get it really early in this dungeon. And you may wonder why they have it set up that way. Well, there will be a reason we'll see soon enough. But I'm already getting ahead of myself, so I'll keep that to myself at least for a little bit longer. This is one of those rooms where you have to defeat all the enemies before you can move on. There are some other rooms you have to move like statues or that kind of thing. But for now, that is sufficient. Get the key. Get out of the room. Running faster than a cannonball. I think that's a lyric from an Oasis song, right? Running down the hall faster than a cannonball. Where were you? How's the lyric go? Where were you when we were getting high? Yeah. Champagne Supernova. I guess this is gonna be the one Zelda playthrough where you just start talking about Oasis half the time. For whatever reason. Huh. Oh, we can only carry 20 arrows at a time. I thought we could actually carry more. Well, it's not really that big of a deal. And yes, you actually get the Power Glove in this game. Now, I assume it is supposed to be a reference to the original Power Glove, which was, of course, the infamous accessory for the original Nintendo system. You could feel the strength in both hands. You could pick up and carry stones now. Yes, the Power Glove. It's so bad. Now, we're not going to be like, what's his name from The Wizard? We're actually not going to be a dick. We're just going to use this to pick up rocks from now on till the end of the game. Is this the original game or a fan-made game? It is the original game, which has been modded by fans to include additional features. So, for example, in the original game, Link had pink hair. In this game, they tried to make it more realistic by giving him brown hair. And also, when you originally played this game, you couldn't change directions when you were running like this. You could actually only go one way at a time, and then you had to stop, change directions, and then run. So there are a lot of little things that they changed and kind of improved upon, which makes this a lot of fun. Also, the music's been completely rescored from, you know, that classic, whatever you call it, bit music to orchestrated music. And there's probably some other things too that they changed, which we'll see in time. Oh yeah, I think I did mention they changed the item layout too in this menu. This menu looked very different in the original game. So get out of that room quickly. You can avoid the flying platforms, which will wreck you and give you a nightmare. This is yet another room where you have to kill every enemy. Now, you don't have to kill the statues because you can't really kill these guys. So it's nice of the game to not force you to destroy them. Now, you could destroy them in Ocarina of Time and other games if you had a bomb, but it doesn't work in this game whatsoever. They're just invincible enemies who will wreck your day. Try to avoid enemies and get some of these hearts if I can, because they're really close to the boss. Now, yeah, the reason why they give you the big key so early in that level is, I guess, because you come to the second area that we had to go like around the mountain and then pick up a rock to get there, which is kind of cool. We actually have to set this again really quickly, and that'll open up the way. And other games in Arrow, yeah, I don't know what other games you're talking about, because I may not have played them. But yeah, I'll take your word for it that in some games you could use an arrow for those things. Alright, make sure you get yourself clean. Thanks for stopping by in K12, hope to see you again. Now, you can take these guys out with the arrow. It does take a little bit of effort though. And yeah, these guys will cause slowdown, so what's going on screen is a bit intense. for the SNES to handle. Especially when they all pop out at once, kind of like that. Arrows will defeat them much quicker, but it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Oh, and Twilight Princess, okay. Now, as I mentioned, I don't really remember a lot of individual facts from individual games like that. It's funny, when one of them kind of dies like that, it stops them from tossing out rocks at you. It's kind of a nice thing. There we go. Just in the nick of time. Yet another heart. And the pendant. There we go. You won the Pendant of Wisdom. Your goal of finding 3 pendants is insight. Go for the last one. I don't know, they expect us to just give up now? Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I guess I'll just go home. Call it a day. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. It's kind of funny. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It kind of looks like some kind of animal, almost like an octopus or something. I don't know if it's supposed to be like representing something in particular, but I always kind of noticed that when I played this game. Wait, since we got the like thing, we can actually pick up these heavy rocks now too. There are some rocks you can't lift up, but I don't think we actually. Here we go. These ones that are darker colored you can't pick up until later. Just something to keep in mind if you're unfamiliar with this game. Yeah, I don't know, Mike, you were saying something about a funny thought before. I don't know, I didn't see what it was either. So, there are a few more things we could do now before we go to the next dungeon, which I'll probably take care of real quick. If we go over to the right here, and then go pretty much all the way up on the map, we'll get to the area we need to go to if we want to be able to ever swim in this game. And like I said, I don't know if you need to swim, strictly, but if you're trying to do everything you can in this game, you're going to want to get it at some point. Because there are some items that require it. You don't remember now. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. So we'll equip the boomerang for now quickly. Since there are a few of these guys here. They're easy enough to avoid, but it doesn't hurt. And actually when you do that, you can actually run through them and you're totally okay. I don't think I showed that off, but if you hit them normally, they're electric and will actually shock you. The world will never know Michael's funny thought that he had. Oh well. Somehow we'll carry on, I guess. This part's kind of a pain, because these guys are going to come at you. It's not always easy to control Link to go at an angle, so sometimes this is a bit difficult to do. Well, not difficult, but I'd say more tedious than difficult. Luckily, you never really have to come here again after this. Wahaha, what do you want, little man? Do you have something to ask of me? I want the flippers. Ha! But I don't just give flippers away for free. I sell them for 500 rupees a pair. What do you want? Pay 500 rupees. Now, it's funny, when I first played this game as a kid, I think I was probably only like 3 or 4 or whatever. I was some like young age when I first played this game. And like when he said that he's selling them for 500 a pair, for whatever reason, as a child I thought that meant like it was 500 each. So it was gonna cost like 1,000. Like, but you can never get 1,000 rupees in this game. But that was just me being young and not very wise on what pair meant. I'll give you a free bonus with your purchase. I'll let you use the magic waterways of the sea folk, which link lakes and rivers. When you see a whirlpool, dive into it. You never know where you'll surface. Wahaha! Yeah, for whatever reason he laughs a lot. He's very different from the King Zora you kind of find in Ocarina of Time, who's just mostly fat and lazy. Not that he really moves around a lot, but I imagine it'd be a lot more energetic and lively. That's nice. We'll somehow forgive Michael for his indiscretion of daring to forget whatever he was talking about in the first place. It happens. It happens. Alright. Now, before we leave this area, we can get one... Actually, I think we get two more things. Get this guy out of the way first. If we come up here, it's a secret passage in this waterway. What could it be? A mysterious pond. There's two things you want to throw in here. Not that. That was me mistakenly throwing something in by mashing A too many times. Yeah, she's just gonna give this back. Now imagine if she did give you the upgrade item now. That'd make things way overpowered for the rest of this game. Let's try that one more time. Don't hit A a second time. And scroll over to the shield. Yeah, that's one item we can do. If you throw the shield in, she'll come back, and as long as you're honest with her and admit that this is your item, she'll give you a better shield in return. And a good thing to keep in mind is this shield actually costs 500 rupees if you're buying it separately. So yeah, you definitely want to come and get that here. Saves you quite a bit of money. Throw another item in, and if you throw in the boomerang, we're gonna get a... Wait for it. Wait for it, yes. We get a red boomerang. And no, it's not just a recolor, we also get the ability to throw the boomerang faster and farther. So it's a magical boomerang, I guess. That's what they call it. Yes, a red boomerang, and red boomerangs obviously go faster because they're red. That's how these things work. Don't go where he is, but if you see that other one down there, you want to go for that right now. And once you do that, you can teleport. Now, I guess I'll show this off really, really quickly. I could stay here and like grind up for 100 items, but I don't really need to. Pendant of Happiness. Throw in some rupees and surely they'll blah blah blah, whatever it says. Unfortunately, the first time you do this, you have to wait quite a bit, because you can only do 20 at a time. You need to throw in a total of 100 to do what I want to do. So yeah, just wait here impatiently. Pendant of Happiness. Throw in a few more, we have to do another 20. So you have to do this like 5 times. Now I don't really know what this means here. A little luck, a lot of luck, bad luck. I don't think it actually means anything. Some people have said that like it actually makes a difference for like items you'll find in pots, but I don't think that's true at all. I think that's just like people making up shit. But I could be wrong. And yes, I'll do this a few more times still. It'd be really nice if they had changed this aspect of the game, so you just throw in 100 right away and get whatever you need. But they didn't change this, unfortunately. Do another 20. Which reminds me of Harvest Moon. More friends of Mineral Town. You throw cucumber into a lake enough times, and then you'll get to romance and marry a kappa. That's pretty funny. Well, unfortunately, we don't have marriage plans in the works for Link right now. But we do have a plan for more bombs. Actually, wait, bombs or arrows? I think I actually want arrows. Arrows are more handy. Bombs you only use like a few times in this game for a few different things. We don't want to use all our money too, by the way. We want to save a little bit for later. Now when we do this though, the game does get a bit more generous because we can throw in 50 rupees at a time. Makes it a bit faster. It's still really weird that you can't just throw in all at once. I don't know why they designed it this way intentionally. Like in the first place. What she actually did was upgrade the maximum capacity by 5. So 100 rupees gives us 5 additional arrows we could carry at a time. And it did replenish our supply as well. I'll probably just do those 2 for now. I think that's good. I think, yeah, we got all the fairies we could carry. So it is good to have because arrows you will use a bit for certain bosses and... Well, not as much as bosses, but some enemies will require arrows eventually. And it'll make it a lot easier to kill them. Don't go to him. No, no, no. There we go. Now, swimming isn't the fastest way to get around, but if we come up over here and to the left, you're gonna see the bridge we went over that one time. And the reason why we want to come to this bridge is if you go underneath it, you find this guy camping underneath the bridge, catching some Z's. Or sleep bubbles, I guess, in this case. Yo, Link, you seem to be in a heap of trouble, but this is all I can give you. It's really weird. I don't know who this guy's supposed to be, or why he, like, knows Link, and how he instantly knows he's in trouble and needs a bottle. Like, of all the things Link needs to get out of trouble, I'm not sure the bottle is, like, the most important one. You love the opinions on who this guy is. Dare I ask what those opinions are? Because I really haven't heard too many of them. So I am a bit curious. Most people I've heard just like call him like a hobo that lives under the bridge, but I don't know, he doesn't really look like a hobo. Or what I would imagine a hobo to look like anyway. Some say he's an old friend of Link's that fell in hard times. Be like a hobo living under the bridge again, I guess. Why didn't the Redux give us a cutscene for the hobo? That'd be kind of funny if they added cutscenes for like every individual scene like that. Although that'd be a bit much, I guess. But that would be pretty funny. The famous scene where Link gets a bottle from a hobo. Now over here in this area by the graveyard, there's these rocks over here you can destroy quickly if you dash into them. And coming down here, it gives us another heart piece. Of course, it'll be a while before we make another one, because that's the first one we got. Now I'm trying to remember. I'll look at the map while I try to remember here. Obviously, the place you have to go to is up here. I think that's about all we can do right now. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we could collect really quickly. I don't believe so. So let's head on up to the mountain. These birds here are going to immediately start flying towards you when you get too close. And they are very annoying. So, yeah. You'll probably get hit by them. Don't sweat it too much. Actually, they don't take too much health. Do not enter Death Mountain without the king's permission. Well, screw the king. I think the king's supposed to be dead, actually, at this point. Technically. Death Mountain, yeah, how spooky. I like how intimidating they always make Death Mountain sound. I mean, it kind of comes with the name Death Mountain. It just sounds intimidating. But it's actually not too bad. In most games, anyway. I don't know who you are, but if you're going up to the mountain, will you take me with you? I lost my lamp, so... yeah, you don't have to agree. He just automatically follows you. He will make little comments too. Watch your step, there are holes in the ground. Clearly, we can see it right there. Turn right here. I heard about the Golden Power. Just ahead is a mountain full of monsters. Many people have vanished in this mountain while looking for the Golden Power. I don't want to steer you wrong, so please don't get too involved in such a mad quest. Now, one of the things that's interesting to me is they talk about the Golden Power up in the mountain here. Now, the Golden Power, I assume that refers to the Triforce. But the weird thing is, there's nothing that really about the Triforce being in Death Mountain in this game. Like, I don't know where they say the Triforce originally supposed to reside. Obviously, kind of spoilers, if you play the whole game, like Ganon has it hidden in his lair. But I don't know why people talk about going to the mountain for the Triforce, because clearly it's not here. Anyway, turn right here. You know, I have a granddaughter who's your age. The king took her to the castle and she never returned. Kidnapping those maidens must be a part of the priest's plot. I'm sure he's trying to somehow use the power of the descendants of the sages. Yeah, the old man misses his daughter, which I guess makes sense. Not sure what he's trying to accomplish up in the mountain now. Like, obviously he's not gonna find her here, and these rocks are gonna try to fall on you as you're getting to this old mountain hut or whatever it's supposed to be. I guess it's a cave. The missing maidens are still alive somewhere. I believe that a hero will rescue them. I'll wait for that day. These are dangerous times. I talk too much. Anyway, thank you for your kindness to an old man like me. I wanted to give you this. If you want to a magical transporter, gaze into this mirror. He gave you the magic mirror. The mirror's blue, clear, and beautiful. You feel like it's gonna absorb you into another world. Oh, how silly. And yeah, you always get hit there because the old man talks to you and freezes you in place. And as he goes inside, you can't move while the rocks come down to fall on you, which is lovely. Luckily, he'll give you full health though if you talk to him. To complete your quest, you need the Moon Pearl, which is in the tower on top of the mountain. All I can do for you now is to comfort your weariness. Wow. Last game, Link was getting comforted by young women, now he's getting comforted by an old man. Well, I guess you could take what you can get. Alright, now before we get hit by another freaking boulder, let's try to hurry up. Or before we get hit by too many boulders, I should say, because it's definitely going to happen at least once, as we saw. And up here we go. Glass shatters, yeah. The boulders aren't a lot of fun in this game. So much for the mirror. Welcome back, Uncaged Wolf. How's it going? I think you want to go to one of these caves. Because you can get another heart piece, maybe? If I'm remembering this correctly. I don't think it was this one. I think we're in the wrong one. Oh no, it's wrong. This is the right one. Okay, awesome. Another piece of heart. I think there's fairies this way. We can actually fill up another bottle. Yeah, let's do that. Now this is one of the reasons why this game is so easy. As long as you have fairies, you're gonna be pretty much good to go for most of the game. Because whenever you die, they'll bring you right back to life. So it makes it almost impossible to die. Except for maybe a couple of boss fights later in this game that get a bit more difficult. You love Link's legs of steel in this game. I mean the fact that he just like run wherever he wants? Like the way we could turn wherever? I mean, I really like that feature of this game too. It makes it so much more fun. Like, it's hard to go back to the original now. Now you can turn directions whenever you want. And what happened? We turned to a bunny! What in the world? Yeah, so that was one of those portals they talked about to another realm. This is actually considered the Dark World, I think. Yeah, here you go. You can actually look at the map. This is the Dark World right here. Now, as you can see, it looks very similar in the layout to the Light World, but obviously parts of this world look quite a bit different. Like, instead of the castle, we have this weird-looking pyramid structure. It's hard to tell. Let me see, I could show it zoomed in. See the town? You kind of see on the map, some of the houses have been destroyed. Yeah. And now instead of a desert, there's a swamp. So there are things that are different about this world, but it is very similar to the world we're from. If you come this way, there's these two over here. Who are you, Mr. Bunny? This world is like the real world, but evil's twisted it. The golden power is what changed your shape to reflect what is in your heart and mind. I'm always changing my mind, so I turn to a ball. But if you have a ball called the Moon Pearl, you can keep your original shape here. And this guy here is not quite as friendly. What do you want? You have something to say to me, you silly rabbit? Tricks are for kids. I came here to get the golden power, but now I'm a freak and I can't go back to the real world. If I only had the Moon Pearl from the Tower of Hera, I could go back to my original form. I've got good reason to be stressed out. Go! Back off! Shoo shoo! Yeah, not very friendly at all, that one. Luckily, we can go back whenever we want. I think it's funny that Link doesn't actually try to get them to come back too. Like, imagine if they all huddled around the mirror together, wouldn't they be able to go back with us? I don't know. It's not really clear exactly how it works. So let's see. Maybe he takes no damage because he's a bunny jumping in his blood? Yeah, the blood of the bunny prevents him from taking damage when he falls. How is constantly changing your mind to turn you to a ball? It's supposed to be symbolic, I guess. I don't know, like a ball, it can bounce in any direction. Imagine kind of like a Super Ball, how like if you throw those, they can bounce anywhere, like off of the surface. And sometimes it'll like bounce in unpredictable directions because of how bouncy they are. Just because of like a slight curve in the ground or whatever. Anyway, let's go into the tower. What does one have to be thinking to turn to a bunny? I'm not sure. Was that ever really explained why Link turns into a bunny? I don't know. It's not really explained, I don't think. Anyway, let's come over here. So he loves carrots? Maybe that's what it is. His love of carrots, clearly. Now, like the other dungeons that we got to do already in this game, these are really quick. This dungeon, again, when I first played it, it seemed like it was a dungeon that took forever to beat. Like it takes forever to get through and all that, but really, these dungeons are like remarkably quick to get through. There are a couple parts like this where you have to wait, but it really is gonna be so quick. I actually think the first dungeon you do is a bit longer than some of these others. I faced the wrong way and got hit, of course. Hey, Jerk Colorado, how's it going? What is up? His love of carrots must be what turned him to a bunny. That's the only thing I can imagine. Even though Link never eats carrots in any of these games. Slowly destroy all these, and finally we can move on. I don't think we have any hearts in these. They're just a tease. Yeah, now we're gonna have a lot of these guys here. Remember they were in that one cave? Well, they're gonna be all over this dungeon. And just you wait till we get to the end. Come over here and kill these guys pretty easily if we didn't miss. And now we could just light these without any trouble whatsoever. Get the big key already. Like I said, you get these so early in these dungeons. Once you know what you're doing, they're very, very simple to get through. Found some Dr. Pepper. French people have no idea what it is. Oh, that's right, because you are in France right now. Yeah, I guess maybe it's not a popular thing in France. That's funny. I don't really have Dr. Pepper too much, but my father, he's like a big fan of Dr. Pepper. I think he still drinks a lot too. But I remember he would drink it all the time. I'm pretty sure he's still a fan of it as well, even now. I don't think, yeah, these guys are kind of a pain to defeat. And if they knock you down, then you're kind of screwed. Let me try to lure him out this way. Come here, guy. There we go. And... oh yeah, they do die after a while, that's right. I kind of forgot about that. That's true. I almost forgot, the red ones are the ones I don't think you can kill. But the blue ones, if you hit them enough, they do die eventually. Which is pretty much how it is for this game. The blue enemies tend to be the weaker ones, and the red ones are the tougher ones. Alright. These guys are going to try to hit you as soon as you go in that area, so I would try to take them out beforehand. Yeah, that actually worked out. Now again, you can open those chests if you want to. I think that's just a compass. Most likely. Take out this... I don't know what it's supposed to be. It kind of looks like a little tiny Triceratops. Oh, actually, if you look closely, I think it only does have one horn, so I guess it's not accurate at all. So I don't know what those are supposed to be. Just another weird Zelda enemy, I guess. And there we go, the Moon Pearl that they talked about. It'll protect the hero from the changing effects of the golden power. Not sure why they call him the hero. I guess they didn't program it to use the name you chose for Link, for whatever reason. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they didn't want to use that in items for some reason. When you're getting the items and it shows the text for that. No idea if that's true or not. Just a weird little thing. What's supposed to be Lizlophos? That breathe fire? I don't know what those are supposed to be. Like I said, I always kind of just call them Triceratop things. Even though they don't have 3 horns, so that's probably not accurate at all. I'm being very risky trying to defeat this guy like this. Usually you kind of want to stick to one kind of area and not move around too much. Oh lord. There we go. Took him out first time. Which is always a nice thing, but it's always funny when it happens when you're not trying to do a race or play the game quickly. Which is just how it goes. Yeah, I would just call them dragons or dinosaur things or whatever. They're kind of weird enemies. Is there normally a monster here, or did the boss lay down the boss carpet when it moved in? Yeah, that's how they roll, the boss carpet. You won the Pendant of Power. With this, you have collected all 3 pendants. Go now to the Lost Woods to get the Master Sword. So we made that look easy. Sometimes that boss can be a huge pain. It kind of depends on... Well, it does depend on if you know what you're doing, because you can minimize the chances of you falling down if you're a bit familiar with the boss's pattern, but there is a bit of luck involved in it too, I would say. Maddie's trying to one-up my humor. Oh no. Do you have people trying to outcompete each other in humor now? Maddie and Mike, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. We all know Mike is the master of humor. And his jokes never fail to deliver. I mean, they never fail to not deliver. Or, yeah, something like that. The color of the one-ups in Mario? That sounds nice. Is that what you mean you're having for dinner or something? I will say, I know some people like mushrooms on like some certain types of food, but I don't know. I've just never been a fan of mushrooms on anything. Like on steak or whatever kind of food you may have. I don't know, I've just always been very suspicious of mushrooms as a food. Don't ask me why. It's just how I was since I was a kid. Oh god. I only like one kind of mushroom? Oh. I see. Shiitake? Okay. I don't even know mushroom types. Alright, this is something I probably have never read before, so let's read this now. The hero's triumph on Cataclysm's eve wins 3 symbols of virtue. The Master Sword he will then retrieve, keeping the knight's line true. Yes, very fancy. Let's do this. Suddenly, Sasrala contacts you telepathically. Link, it is extraordinary that you won the Master Sword that makes evil retreat. With this shining sword, I believe you can deflect the priest's evil powers. The destiny of this land is in your hands. Please, Link. There we go. Now we are a boss. If we had full health, we could shoot lasers out of our sword, but alas, we took damage unnecessarily. Alright, let's get out of here now. Now you may have noticed the layout of the Lost Woods has changed entirely. Now we got the classic Zelda theme playing instead. Pretty cool. Well, I did like the kind of foggy atmosphere before, and the music was pretty nice too. Link, help! The soldiers are coming to the sanctuary! Aye! Oh no. Not to the sanctuary. It's supposed to be a safe place, but it's safe no longer. It is kind of funny if you think about it though, like why did the soldiers take so long to find Zelda there? You'd think they would have known about that. It's not like the kingdom's that large where they'd never be able to find her. But I guess we only have been playing the game for like an hour and a half or whatever, so it makes sense that they weren't able to find her right away. The most dramatic reading of that ever? I doubt that. I'm sure people have been more dramatic. Come on. Now if you come over here, you see the priest is laying down. What happened, priest? Link, you're a second too late. I failed. Zelda, the soldiers have abducted her. They've taken her to the castle. You must find her before the priest works his magic. Please, you're our only hope. And then he disappears. I don't get it either. Why have I not been hired as a voice actor yet? This is an abomination. How dare they? Alright. Now, if you're very quick about something, you can actually do a kind of a trick here, but I'm probably going to be too slow, so I'm getting hit repeatedly. I'll make an effort to do it though regardless. So, there's a somewhat well-known glitch you can kind of do. I don't know if it's supposed to be a glitch or it's a little bit of an Easter egg. No, we weren't fast enough. Oh well. I'm kind of not surprised about that because we did like take a bit of damage and get held up while trying to run here. I could try to do it one more time really quickly, maybe. So let's try that one more time. This time maybe not take as much damage. Alright, this is gonna be the area that's a pain to get through. Because you got a lot of enemies in there. Yeah, we're gonna try it once more. I'm not surprised that Michael knows what this is all about. If you're familiar with the game, it's a pretty well-known thing. But if you're not, you probably would have never heard of this. Alright, let's see if we have better luck this time. Of course, we woke up all the guards. Don't care, I'm taking damage there. Should've stopped running there. Quickly. Now, was that quick enough? There we go. Now, yeah, suddenly we fall into this room with a ton of rupees. What is this, you may ask? Well, see that little thing on the top of the screen there? We're gonna check that in just a second. My name is Chris Houlihan. This is my top secret room. Keep it between us, okay? Well, little did Chris Houlihan know in 1991 that people would be streaming this game. And yeah, obviously I did not keep this a very good secret. So, yeah, Maddie, you're right. I guess you know about this secret as well. For anyone out there who doesn't know about this, apparently in like, I don't know if it was 1991 or 1990, sometime before this game came out, Nintendo Power held this contest where you would get your name put in A Link to the Past. And apparently this was it. So the funny thing about this is that you'll never find this room unless like you do like some very obscure things in this game. And basically one of the things you can do is go from the sanctuary to that like little hole that I fell down very quickly, like in under a minute. And then you load into this room instead of where you normally go to. Supposedly some kind of like, it's an error checking room. I don't know why they call this as an error, but for whatever reason, you get sent here. So it's kind of like a debug error room. And yeah, so his prize was pretty much this room that very few people would ever find. Until the internet came out, and then everyone was able to find out about it pretty much instantly whenever they looked it up. So yeah, what's going on here? Just a question for Mike Money. Why do you keep typing XC anytime you finish a sentence? Yeah, it's a habit for Mike. It's supposed to be like a smiley face, I guess. Kind of. Interesting. Didn't know the specific way of triggering the Houlihan room. Yeah, I think this is the easiest way to do it, maybe? I don't really know. I don't know the other ways you can do it, but this is one of the ways anyway. Alright, let's get out of here. And actually when you do that, you find yourself back at Link's house too. Which just goes to show it's part of like an error. Because they don't know where you're actually supposed to be in the game when you do that. Let's power up our sword, by the way, while we're here. It's like that one special song that plays in certain games. What do you mean by that, Michael? I don't know what that's supposed to reference. Yeah, there we go. There's our powered up sword. Now it's time to go and kick Aghanim's ass. Let's do that. Now we're all decked out and ready for combat. Now to get to Aghanim's chamber, you have to actually head out again on the second floor of the building. So just up here. And to the right. Now you could have come over here earlier, but you can't get past this until you have the Master Sword. Once you have the Master Sword, you just cut this and go through it. Now this symbol here, they would actually start using this again in... what was it, Four Swords? Yeah, it's supposed to be the symbol of, like, Vati in the Four Swords games. Now, actually, I'm trying to remember, is this what they have in the game itself, like in the original Link to the Past? Or was this added in by this version of the game? I don't remember. I think it might actually be a symbol they used in this, like, in the original Link to the Past from 1991. And then whatever, like, 10, 15 years later, they reused it for Four Swords, which is kind of cool. Now with the powered up sword, we could wreck these guys pretty easily, as long as we don't let this guy get too close. Now it does take a little bit longer to kill them with the sword beam than it is to kill them with the sword itself, but of course you're a bit safer when you do it that way. Yeah, we have all the fairies we could carry. And this has the key. I'm still not sure what you're talking about, Mike. It's a secret sign that's added to certain games? Yeah, I have no idea what that means. Do you know any particular games that has it? So, I mean, I have played a lot of games, so I want to see if it's something I'm familiar with. Basically, a developer or something decided to come up with a secret song and place it in games as a prank of sorts. Well, what games, though? Link Awakening here? You mean in the game itself, or in, like, a fan game? How did they, secretly get the song to games? Was it like a Nintendo programmer, you mean? Or a developer? This is the first I've ever heard of that. Anyway, there are chests in here. You can get a key. In fact, you definitely need to get it to get to the next area. You have to sit around in a certain house for a little while. Alright, I'll probably have to look that up later. It sounds very interesting. It's actually something I've never heard of before, too, which is pretty unusual. Yeah, that's really weird. Once he turns around, yeah, let's get him. Of course we didn't need to. The door's unlocked already. Maybe I will use a little bit of magic for some light here. There we go. It's a bit easier to see now. He fell down on his own. What an idiot. What a fool. The character's Richard. Oh, I remember the name Richard from that game. It sounds so funny. But, Oh, and actually you can knock down the arrows with your beam. That's pretty cool. Kinda forgot about that. Yeah, Richard is a character in Link's Awakening. I remember that much. I don't remember anything about the song, though. Come on, forget about me. Uh-oh. There we go. Ah, for all that, we got hit. Knocks the arrow down with your meme. Knock the arrow down with your meme is what I heard. Oh, what I said before, yeah. I said knock the arrow down with your beam, not meme. Well, that'd be pretty funny if Link shot dank memes out of his sword instead. Actually, that'd be really easy for someone to do if they wanted to get creative. and like add that into the game. Well, I mean, not very easy, but you have to have some knowledge. Come on. Sometimes it's easier to just hit them with the pots instead. Because actually that's a lot of damage on its own. Richard's Villa. Yeah, I remember Richard from Link's Awakening. I just didn't remember anything particular about like a weird music thing that played. We'll just get out of this room because this looks like a nightmare. Don't want to get hit by him. Yeah, some of these rooms you don't have to actually fight the enemies. And a lot of times I advise avoiding enemies if you don't have to fight them. It can save you some heartache. Of course, sometimes it is necessary. There, and we're pretty much done with this already. We're up to the boss yet again. So yeah, for people that think this game is difficult, it really isn't too hard, at least in my opinion. Because you can take it easy, and as long as you're careful, you don't take too much damage. Aha, Link, I've been waiting for you. I was hoping I could make Zelda vanish in front of your eyes. Behold, the last moments of Princess Zelda. A bow that shoots dank memes. No, I mean a sword that shoots dank memes. I guess the bow could do it too. But I mean like the powered up Master Sword shooting dank memes. That's what they should have had in Breath of the Wild. That's what it was missing out on. Ho ho ho. With this, the seal of 7 sages is at last broken. It is now only a matter of time before evil power covers this land. After all, the legendary hero cannot defeat us, the tribe of evil, when we are armed with the golden power. Ho ho ho. Now I must go. Yeah, it's fine. They mentioned the tribe of evil, which they don't actually explain what that is in this game, I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. But if you are familiar with some of the other Zelda games, you could kind of make a guess as to what that may be. Oh? So, you mean to say you would like to be totally destroyed? Well, I can make your wish come true. Of course you can. Sounds so romantic the way he puts it. So he's really easy. This is a boss pattern that become very popular in other Zelda games where you just bounce back the enemy's attack towards him. That's pretty much all you have to do for this one. Occasionally he'll shoot another beam that you can't reflect. So you just want to dodge it. When he goes up there, he's going to shoot lightning, like a Sith Lord. So just go up there to avoid it. There's going to be like small blue balls that he fires that you actually can't use to hurt him. So yeah, like that. And if you do that, you'll probably get hit if you're not careful. Luckily he doesn't do it too much, and the pattern does tend to be very random. That time we got very lucky where he didn't do it almost at all. He only did it once, I think. Well met, like the true hero that you are. But I am not ready to admit defeat yet. I will draw you into the dark world. No, you won't, you asshole. But we can't hit him. Unfortunately, we get drawn in just like he says. Fortunately, we did get the Moon Pearl, so we don't get turned into a bunny yet again. Blink in his eyes, Sasrala. I'm communicating to you across the void through telepathy. The place where you now stand was a sacred realm, but evil power turned it into the dark world. The priest has broken the sage's seal and opened a gate to link the worlds at Hyrule Castle. In order to save this half of the world, the light world, you must win back the golden power. You must also rescue the 7 maidens who Aghanim sent to the dark world as members of the bloodline of the 7 sages. They have power that will surely help you. The maidens are locked in hidden dungeons full of evil creatures and dangerous traps. The Dark Palace should be your first stop in this world. Link, I can rely on only you. Please make this old man's wishes come true. I beg you. I like how it says make this old man's wishes come true. Like, yeah, we're doing it solely for you, Sasrala, and not like we're doing it for anyone else too. I wish when you played on the ocarina, a Roblox death sound would come out. I don't even know what that means. It's random. I got really unlucky one. Yeah, that fight can be a pain. Sometimes they'll just shoot like a lot of those blue balls at you. I love that they're just little blue balls. It's just a funny thing to say. My favorite music in A Link to the Past. Tatanka's song, that's what it's called. Okay, so Mike finally remembered the name of that song. I see. Awesome. Now I'll be able to look it up later if I want to see what that's all about. You come over on this side, you get another heart piece. And that completes another heart for us. So sweet. Now we did see the map a little bit before. Let's look at it again. So the first area we want to go to is over on the right there. And we'll just head over very quickly. So it won't take much time at all. Now, oop, I was looking away at the time. Now I am going to have to end the stream in probably about another 40 minutes or so, but we have enough time to take care of a dungeon or two, I suppose. So let's do that real quick. And there's not really too much you could do in this dark world right now until you complete like the first palace or so. Because most of it is off limits until you have a certain item. Which we'll get shortly enough. Oh, also notice the enemies do a lot more damage in this world than they did in the other world. Also the dungeons are going to be a lot harder too. So this is where the game does step up in difficulty. But hopefully if you've been collecting the heart pieces, you should be in pretty decent shape to take on these challenges ahead. I'm Kiki the monkey. Kiki, I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees? Yeah, it starts off with 10 rupees and then, of course, it's not going to be that easy. Good choice. I'll accompany you for a while. Also, if you get hit by an enemy, he tends to run away. Which, obviously is not a good thing. Because you have to spend the money all over again. Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, now if you'd give me 100 rupees, I'll open the entrance for you, Kiki. What will you do? Unfortunately, you can't open it on your own, so you have to ask him to open it for you. Kiki. Good choice. Then I get 100 of your rupees. Kiki. What a jerk. And yeah, they would have monkeys in other later Zelda games too. Although I don't know if they ever brought back Kiki the monkey. But yeah, Majora's Mask, I think that was the next game that really bring back the monkeys from like this game. Actually, maybe Link's Awakening had monkeys too. I think at one point it might have. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you could do these dungeons here. They get a bit more open-ended from this point out. But I'm gonna try to show you the way to do things like the quickest, where you use like the least keys possible. So I usually go this way first. And once you come to this room, you want to step inside this portal here. Yeah, and of course they'd bring them back for Twilight Princess as well. The monkey had a rather prominent role in that one, where it helped you complete the dungeon. Actually, they had a couple monkeys in that game, if I remember correctly. Now, these guys are going to require you to use your arrow, so that's why I did mention at one point that you want to have your arrow upgraded at least a little bit. Red guys, you have to hit with the arrows like that. If you look them in the eye, they'll shoot a laser beam at you, so that's why you don't want to look at them directly. Kind of like you have to do for the other ones. Yeah, and in Twilight Princess they had that butt-slapping monkey. That was really silly. I know, I didn't really like that part of the game. It was kind of just a little too silly for my taste. And it's funny, because I really like the rest of Twilight Princess, just that monkey business was just kind of a little too silly for me. Yeah, and that's why you come this way, because you get a key. Now, you don't have to go this way pretty much for the rest of the dungeon. You can come back here later if you want to jump down there, but you don't have to. I think you can blow this part up here. Because I think this is a room with fairies in it. Yeah, there was. Yeah, it's always funny how, at least to me, I don't know if anyone else thought this, but I think it was in Ocarina of Time that introduced the bomb shoes, right? And I always thought it was supposed to be like a reference to Pikachu, which I'm not sure if it really was or not. Pokemon did come out around like the same time as Ocarina of Time, like maybe they were like a year apart or so, so I thought it was based on that, but I don't know, it's not really too clear. Oh, also, you don't have to go out all the way for this, like I started doing. You could just use the mirror, and it takes you back to the entrance of the dungeon, which is a bit of a time saver. We want to go to the left now. You made a board game called Monkey Suits. How exactly did that work? Yeah, I'm curious to hear about the goal of that game as well. Alright, we could actually head back out again. And now we finally go through the center like we're supposed to. I'll take that bomb, I guess. Next time out again. Now the reason why I kind of do it this way is because, oh, that is not what I wanted to do there. Let me switch over the bomb so I don't do that again by mistake. The reason why I got those keys is because it makes it a little bit easier to do this part right here. Because if you don't have the keys, you have to like kind of go around in a circle, and you go through this room twice basically. So we come down here. I don't think there's anything here. Just another bomb we can get. We can open up this door without having to go down and get the key from here. Normally what we do is that door would be locked, you just jump down instead. And so we're gonna go back down the air, I'll show you what happens. So, normally you can't open that door right away, you would just drop down here, and once you come here, you open up this, and that's how you get the key. But luckily, we don't have to do that all over again. And yeah, now we're back here, yet again. That won't save us too much time, I'll just go up this way. Kill this guy really quickly. Yeah, it's funny, sometimes they drop 8 bombs. I don't know why so many. I think there's one more key we can get over here real quick before we move on further through this dungeon. Luckily I played this game so many times I pretty much know what I'm doing for most of it. So I'm just gonna read about this game that Maddie mentioned in the chat real quick. So the goal of the game was to gather pieces of a suit for your monkey before the other players can. You had to earn bananas in the business area, but monkeys also need to play, so they can't always work. We also made event cards full of puns. You can fling poop on other monkey suits, so they can't use it. That is great. That's actually pretty funny. Alright, we could go this way now. I don't think there's anything else we have to get back there. Go through this way. We don't have to stop and pick up the thing this time, which is nice. Because we just break the pots with our sword. Whoa. Wasn't expecting this guy again. Oh, you can also bomb this area by just doing this over here. So you don't have to bomb it later. Got some more bombs. We also had one called You're Fired Monkey with a Trump picture on it, where you kick another out of the business area. That sounds like a pretty fun game. That's really creative. That's awesome. I never really did anything too creative like that with like making up my own games or anything, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Alright, and there we go. We got Maxwell's magic hammer. So now we could drive wind stakes into the ground when we come across them. I don't think we did yet, but we will soon enough, and you will see that. Yeah, speaking of mazes, this area is a bit of a maze, obviously. But once you play this game through, I wonder how many times I played this game. I've never really tried to keep count, but this is probably like the one game I played the most out of any other game, if I had to say. At least like any game that I played through to completion multiple times, I should say. I think we get another key if we come through one of these areas really quickly. We got some more money here, which, you know, it's not bad to have money, so I'll quickly grab a few of these rupees while I can. One of these just has an arrow, which is useless. But trust me, the other one has a key. There we go. Get some more money. Yeah, I don't think really there's a particular reason to get this money at this point in the game. There's like one mini game that we have to do at some point, which will require us to use money. How do I get through here? I think I want to go back to the beginning again, really quickly. Yeah, there is one mini game that can be a pain to accomplish, so sometimes you have to have a lot of money for that, but I usually don't have too much trouble with it. Can I get a heart? No? Okay. Yeah, it's fine, it's just a single arrow, just to be a dick. Let me show off the hammer real quick. These guys can actually be defeated by the hammer really easily. You can't knock them over unless you have the hammer, so you kind of need to. Also, if you're careful and you stay in place, you can block that with the upgraded shield. Which is good to know. So we kill some of these guys before we have to head over. There we go. That red guy's probably not going to die unless we knock him off, so I'm just going to leave him be. There we go. Whoa! I almost fell myself. Now that we've done that... Oh, I wish we had gotten that one last heart. Well, I still can do this with the boomerang, obviously. I don't think we need to switch it back, either. No, okay, we don't. That's good. How dare I kill those poor turtles? Yeah, isn't it funny? I think I called them turtles one time. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but for whatever reason, I just always called them turtles, I think. I think we get some hearts here. Yeah, there we go. Everything's back to normal now. You actually can kill these guys with the sword if you want, but it takes a few hits. This guy you have to use the arrows on. So that's what happens. He will try to shoot you. Oh crap, let me just get those arrows. Yeah, Link can't use his items in the doorway for whatever reason. There we go. This guy needs an arrow to the face. And there we go. You blew up a soda can for a school project? What do you do to blow it up? I mean, there's many ways you blow up a soda can. I'm just curious of the method involved. Alright, so again, we need to use the hammer. These are obviously not stakes. I don't know what these are supposed to be. Like little moles that pop out that are laughing at you. I mean, that's what they look like to me anyway. Obviously, if you're trying to do like a speedrun this part, it also helps to have full health. I could just shoot a sword beam at that to make it a little quicker. And again, hammer's needed for these guys. It take 2 hits from the sword to kill. So it's a little bit quicker if you use the hammer, but the hammer can be inaccurate and you might accidentally have the enemies hit you when you bounce them. Uh-oh. Yeah, these guys will try to gang up on you, which is not nice. And you'll lose quite a bit of health if they keep banging into you like this. Which is nice because we're basically right next to the boss too. And this boss will probably kill us at least once. And by kill us, I mean they'll kill us as in we'll lose those 4 hearts and then we'll have to use a fairy. We shouldn't actually die in terms of getting a game over. Unless I'm really bad. And those guys don't give you hearts, which would have been nice, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't go that way. Now, the funny thing about this boss is you could use the hammer or the bombs to kind of knock off his mask. You could use the... oh my god. You could use the bombs if you're being a little bit more cautious, if you're having trouble. I forget which way is actually quicker, though. But if he's like that, you might get hit by the bomb yourself, so be very careful. I think the hammer's actually a little bit quicker. I think it takes like 17 hits, which is still quite a bit of an amount. And also the kind of attack he's gonna do will be really random too. Like sometimes he'll use that tail swipe attack, other times he'll shoot the fire. If he shoots the fire, it kind of slows down the pace of the combat. But yeah, it's just a matter of timing. And then once you do this, if you're good at the bow, a really quick way to kill him is to hope he doesn't move and just spam arrows. Spamming arrows will kill him really quickly. There we go. Uncaged Wolf was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? When he saw this boss. Yeah, it's a really crazy boss. As you can see, once we get to the Dark World, the bosses get a lot more serious looking. Like, all the bosses in the Light World are really silly looking. But yeah, that was a, like, behemoth of a creature. How this thing even fit in the room? That's a good question. It's like any of the bosses in these Zelda games. How'd they get into the room in the first place? It's like the ship in a bottle that you kind of see. I guess they built the room around the boss or something. Or maybe they like put the boss in there piece by piece and slowly built him up. I have no idea. Link, because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world used to be the sacred realm where the Triforce was hidden. But because Ganon, the boss of thieves, wished it, the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our Light World after building his power here. He's trying to open a larger gate between worlds near the castle using our powers. But the gate's not open completely yet. If we 7 maidens come together, we could break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you'll destroy Ganon. I'll return to my original form at that time. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. I didn't notice. Actually, I guess they don't play it for the pendants. But for this remix version here, they're actually using Zelda's Lullaby, which is another nice touch. Yeah, I really like this this game. The music is different, and of course I love the original music, but it's nice to hear something different every once in a while. Especially when you played the game as much as I have. Of course we understand. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Okay, and now you can see, we have that second layer of heart starting to build up. Very nice. So, let's see, what time is it right now? 8:30? Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I don't know, maybe we'll try to finish one more dungeon for really quick. We might be able to do it, but I'm not too sure. So we're actually gonna do a little bit of what they call sequence breaking. If you look on the map, they tell you the second dungeon is all the way in the bottom center, but we're actually gonna try to do dungeon number 4 next. And I'll show you how exactly you can get there. Yeah, gasp, how could we? Sequence breaking the game. This is not what Miyamoto intended. Or did he? I don't know. I kind of wonder, sometimes they kind of meant for you to be able to do the dungeons out of order. I guess they wouldn't have made it possible if not. Anyway, the best way to do it is actually come down this way first, as if you're gonna go to that dungeon. And yeah, these enemies are really tough, like I said. They do a bit more damage than they did in the Light World. And here are the stakes they mentioned. You have to drive into the ground. Come this way. Now we're not boundary breaking. We don't actually have to glitch out the game or anything. Everything is completely kosher, I assure you. Whoa, what the hell was that? We actually ran backwards. Alright, that wasn't kosher. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Link started moonwalking for whatever reason. I think this guy only gives you money, and as you can see, we're kind of close to maxing out money, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm pretty sure that's not a heart anyway. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Drafts are actually kosher based on the rules. I have no idea how that works out, but sure, if that's what they say, I guess that's how it is. So we're gonna try to get something over here real quick first. Now you see this weird little guy over here. Now, it's not really clear what he is exactly, but if you talk to him, he says that after wandering through this world, I turned to the shape. I enjoyed playing the ocarina in the original world. There's a small grove where many animals gathered. I want to see that place again. I buried my ocarina there with some flower seeds. Will you try to find it for me? Yes, of course we will. I'll lend you my shovel. Good luck. You borrowed the shovel. You can dig it in many places, you'll never know what you find. Well, we know exactly what we'll find. We're looking for the ocarina, as he said. Now, we didn't show this before, but if you go in the light world, you actually see this kid playing the flute for the music. Or playing the ocarina, as they say, for the animals here. Now, if you take the shovel and dig right here, you dig up the ocarina, but what? How is he able to play the ocarina and the ocarina be over there at the same time? How could they coexist? What is this, you may say? If you pick it up, see the animals scatter a bit. Oh, here's the ocarina. Its music surely has some kind of mysterious power. There's the animals scatter, and then the boy himself just disappears. Or was he ever really there to begin with? The world may never know. Anyway, come back to this guy. And you don't really have to do this part, but just to show what happens, you talk to this guy again. He says, "Thank you, Link, but it looks like I can't play my ocarina anymore. Please take it. If by chance you go to the village I lived in, please give it to a tired old man. You'll find there. Well, my mind is getting hazy. Please let me hear the sound of the ocarina one last time." And then he turns into a tree forever. Very weird. But these Zelda games sometimes have really weird parts of it like this. Like in Ocarina of Time, you had that one part where you meet that guy in the forest, and he's asking for the like the workman's saw or whatever it was. Or I think you have to give him the blue chicken or whatever, and then you're supposed to give him a potion. But then when you go back to give him the potion in the forest, he's gone. And then you see like that young girl who just gives you the saw and says that he turned to like a Stalfos or whatever. Which is really creepy. Kind of out of place. Anyway, if we come over here real quick. You got signed out. What? Got signed out of the YouTube, Michael? Is that what you mean? That is pretty strange. Yeah, I got another heart piece over here to get real quick. Which will do. Actually, I don't know if we'll have time to do the dungeon. Maybe we'll just do some of the heart pieces and collecting some of these things real quick. And then that's where we'll end it for the night. Because I don't know if we'll be able to do the entire dungeon tonight. And it'd be silly to do it part way. What happened? I wasn't looking. We went to the forest and we met this weird creature in the forest who asked us to find his ocarina in the light world. So when we went to the light world, we saw this boy on a stump playing a flute. Meanwhile, we dug up the ocarina, and when we picked up the ocarina, the boy playing the flute just mysteriously disappeared. Then once we went to the dark world, we played the ocarina for that weird creature again, and then he turned into a tree. So yeah, a very weird sequence of events. We'll see the conclusion to that soon enough, and then I'll explain what that is if you don't fully understand what that meant there. This is gonna be kind of annoying to do. If we get lucky, we only have to do this once. If we're unlucky, we have to do it 15 million times. It's just kind of how it goes. Well, luckily we're making lots of money. Fortunately, money is not the thing I'm concerned about. Uh-oh. Almost out of time. No. Alright, so we have to do that one more time at least. Yeah, you look away for 1 minute and all that happened. It did happen pretty quickly though. So it probably wasn't like about the time of a minute, to be honest. You can dig it real good? Oh, of course you can, Michael. I'm trying to remember, when we did the race of this game, were we actually able to do this part? I don't know if you got that far when you played. But I was really curious to see if you would be able to do it in your first time or not. But I don't think you actually made it that far, because I think I beat the game before you. Like, you were still in one of the other dungeons. There is, like, a certain trick to this, and the fact is, you won't be able to get the heart piece until you dig up at least 30 holes. I think that's what it was. But even then, once you dig out 30, there's no guarantee you're gonna find it. It's just that you have to do at least 30 before you have a chance of even finding it. But it may not be even 30, maybe like 20 or something. A heart piece. There's a heart piece buried somewhere underneath this maze. Let's do this one more time. Okay, 80 rupees once again. I don't know why I don't have that equipped. I also think you keep the shovel in this version of the game too. Like, you don't lose it like you did in the original. You can kind of go back and forth like this a little bit. Now we're not getting really good items at all. We're just getting one measly rupee. The location doesn't really matter. It's just going to be randomized. Quick, do some more digging. Not again. Yeah, we didn't even get a lot of money that time either, which is a shame. The funny thing is, I think when I did the race with Michael of this game, I was actually able to do it the first time, which is really funny. But I can't get too annoyed now since I'm not really trying to race it. It doesn't really matter that it's taking me forever to do it this time. Now we're getting some red rupees again. Oh, there we go, finally, the last time. That was like the last shot we had in that round. That was awesome. A lot of times that's how it goes. Yeah, we did a race of this game. I actually did several races of this game because we did randomized races too. If you check my playlist on YouTube, you should be able to find them. They're actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing them anyway. Those were good times. Okay, so we have to go back to the light world for this part here. And there's an enemy right on top of us, which is nice, but we're slightly invulnerable for a little bit. Of course, that doesn't protect us from him. I did absolute crap at them. Yeah, I pretty much wiped the floor with Michael when I played it. Unfortunately, it wasn't very close. So if you speak to this old man, he says, snore. But if you play the music... Hey, Lucer and Namo, thank you for the subscription. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Or the videos, or whatever you're subscribing on. What? This is my son's ocarina. Did you meet my son? Where is he? Is he alright? Oh, I see. Well, I could tell what you want to say by the look in your eyes. Would you keep the ocarina? And will you play its sweet melody for the bird in the village square? I beg of you, please. My son would probably want it this way. But still, I wish I could see him once more. Yeah, that's a sad little story you have about that guy's son. So, the thing that we saw in the forest in the light world, it's supposed to be like the ghost of his son. And then, that creature we saw in the dark world, I guess it was supposed to be him in like the dark world. Like somehow he got trapped in the dark world, he got turned into that weird creature. And then, of course, for whatever reason, he was dying, and then after we played the ocarina for him, he just turned into a tree. You could tell that Link wants to say that he turned into a stump. I don't know if he wants to say that. I assume Link didn't want to say it outright like that. He was trying to figure out how he wanted to put it. Link's like, how do I tell this guy that his son is dead? You know, I'll probably just say that his son's dead. I'm not going to mention the whole turning to a stump part. Probably, at least that's what I imagine. Yeah, nicely in the waterfall of Wishing, in the hills near the river. Yeah, we did meet her already. Thanks, old man. Alright, let's talk to the, well, not talk to the bird, we'll play the music for the bird in the square, since the old man asked us to, and we'll see what happens. But somehow that bird turned into the Affleck duck. I don't know how you managed that one, but Yeah. So now whenever we play the ocarina, the bird will come flying, and we can actually travel, which is really cool. I don't know if it's ever actually mentioned what his age is supposed to be, but it's weird. Everyone has their own kind of opinion when they're playing these games of what age Link is supposed to be. Like, when I was playing this, I never imagined him to be a young boy. Like, I always imagined he was, like, somewhat in his teens or whatever. Like, not especially young. And I never really liked that in Ocarina of Time when they made him, like, really young. Like, I don't know how young he was supposed to be in Ocarina of Time, but he seemed too babyish for me in that game. Like, I always imagined Link being, like, a younger teenager. Something between, like, 13 and, like, 16, I always imagined. But yeah, in later games, they started making him younger and younger, which I don't know. I thought that was kind of silly. But I guess now, I don't know, with, like, the last few games, ever since Twilight Princess, he's all been, like, kind of in his older teens, right? Because Twilight Princess, he was, like, older teens. Skyward Sword I didn't play, but he was older teens there. And then in, yeah, Breath of the Wild, he looked... he's over 100, yeah. But he still looks like a, you know, around 17 or so. So yeah, I always imagined to be around that age, but then they started making him younger, and I think... I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to be in this game, but I just... Since he doesn't really say anything, and he doesn't make any sound effects, you can just imagine him to be whatever age you want him to be. At least that's what I do. To be honest, I don't really care for, like, the canon of the game itself. I usually like my own interpretation better for a lot of these things. So, anyway guys, I am thinking about ending the stream there. Like I said, the next dungeon that we have, it's probably going to take a while to go through, and I'm going to be ending the stream in 15 minutes anyway. So I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by. And yeah, we'll probably do one more stream and be able to finish it, because it's a really quick game. And since I'm pretty decent at it, it doesn't take me a long time to finish. Like some of the other games I've played. Oh well, that's weird, you also got logged out, Uncaged Wolf? Yeah, I wonder what that's all about. Maybe it's some kind of a YouTube bug that's going around. That's pretty annoying. But yes, I will hang around for about 5 minutes or so. If you guys want to ask any questions, if you have any suggestions or comments you want to make, and I'll answer them real quick. Otherwise, have a good night, everyone. Oh yeah, that did actually save. I also checked that out after the fact. I don't know if I actually mentioned that, but in the preview video that I made, it does save the stream conversations, so technically I don't need to have it on screen anymore. And for games that are like widescreen, 16:9, I'm probably going to get rid of that, because really that's not needed, it's just redundant now. But it doesn't really matter for games like this, because obviously I have the black space at the side anyway, so it doesn't particularly matter. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool that YouTube's finally implemented that now, and it actually works for my channel, which, for whatever reason, it wasn't working for like a week or two, even though it's supposed to be a thing. Oh yeah, now I can actually watch Mike's video that he sent me. Or I guess I'll watch it after I end the stream, so it doesn't play the audio. What was my first ever game? I think I've talked about this a little bit before. I can't really recall what my first ever game was. When I was young, and I mean like, you know, when I was 2, 3, 4 years old, I had my older cousin who was like 9 years older than me. And basically I watched a lot of games that he would play when I was young, like that age, as like a little toddler, from like, you know, 2, 3, or 4 or so. And I slowly kind of got into games from like watching him play. Like, he'd hand me the controller, and I'd start playing games too. So I'd be playing whatever he'd be playing. So I don't know what the first game I actually played was, but I remember a bunch of games, like playing the original Zelda, playing Mario, playing like Mario Brothers 2, 3, Mario World, like all that stuff at the same time. I kind of remember. You know, Final Fantasy I played too from a young age. And that game was incredibly hard to play as a kid because it's all reading too. So like I had to figure out how to play it without knowing too many of the words, which was interesting. And of course the funny thing about that was from playing the game I actually got better at reading, which is pretty amusing. But yeah, those are like the earliest games that I remember playing. I can't really remember in particular what the very first one was. Yeah, that's kind of like the best thing about having like an older brother or like an older brother type of figure, is that they could show you the ropes of playing games and stuff like that. And as I got older, like I started playing like more games too as a result of him. Like in 1994, like he got really into, was it 1994 or 1993? I don't know, whenever it was when Doom first came out, he got really into that game. And then as a result of that, I started getting into like PC gaming. And I was only like 6 years old or whatever at the time. But like I wanted to play all the games that he played, so then I started getting into that, which was definitely an awesome thing to get into because building computers and stuff, you know, that's so rewarding. Of course I didn't build them at the time, I just, you know, kind of got my own from my parents. Even some of the dialogue in Donkey Kong Country helped me out as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, it's kind of like the opposite for you, Mike, because you're the older brother in that situation because your brother was younger than you, right? So I guess you were the one that was showing him things. Games were our teachers, and they weren't even that educational. Yeah, it's like games can be educational, even if they're not really intended to be. Like, you can learn so much random stuff just from playing games. I remember when I played Metal Gear Solid for the first time, and what was that? It was like 1998 or so, so I was about 10 years old. And like, you learn like about a whole bunch of crap about like the military and nuclear weapons and like all this stuff and like foreign affairs just from playing Metal Gear Solid that like I never would have learned about like at that young age. So it's really kind of funny. Hey Frog, what's up? You have some interesting timing because we're just about to wrap up. I've just been doing some last minute discussions before I end the stream. But I'm glad you're able to stop by for a little bit. Yeah, you can't focus too heavily on the stream, no problem. Obviously, that's not an issue. But yeah, so like video games, even if they're not intended to be educational, like I don't think Metal Gear was intended to be an educational game, but I learned a lot of stuff as a result of it, which is kind of funny. Your first game, says Uncaged Wolf, was the old school NES Batman game. I don't think I actually played that. A Batman game for the NES. No, I don't think I did. You learned 50 to 60% of your vocab and random knowledge from video games. I would say that's probably accurate for me too. There's so much, like, video games are such a big part of my life when I was young. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like that same amount. Oh, and also, the funny thing is, like, when I was growing up, like, games were kind of, like, evolving. Well, obviously, like, games are still evolving to this day, but, like, they were, like, big changes in games, like, from when I first played games like this to, like, the very next generation when you had, like, N64 and PlayStation. That's when games got all complicated, like Metal Gear and that sort of stuff. Cutscenes and that sort of business. It's pretty crazy. Just how much games changed in that short time. You recall learning the word demented from Super Mario World. Did they use that in Super Mario World? I'm trying to remember. There wasn't a lot of text in Super Mario World. Oh, no, you're right. Whenever you beat, like, the dungeons and you defeat the Koopa Kids, they do say certain little blurbs. And I think they said that about one of the Koopa Kids, like Mike said. That's right. I can't remember that now. They had some kind of like little insult they would level at the Koopa kids, like, oh, the demented Iggy Koopa or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end this one here. I hope you guys had fun. I can't wait to do some more of this. Like I said, we'd probably be able to finish this in another stream. The game is not very long, and I'm pretty much used to it, so it's not difficult for me. It's not like Zelda 2. I know when I was a kid, I had the Flintstone game on floppy disk. Yeah, I don't think I had that one either. There were like a lot of weird games that they had when we were young. From like big franchises like that, like the Flintstones or whatever was popular at the time. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to end that one here. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll let you guys know on Discord whenever I plan to do the second part of this. So yeah, look out for that, guys. Later.